Welcome to Speedgaming Live's 2023 SMZ3 Combo Randomizer Finals match. We got a really exciting one here. This is Audraxys versus Gammachuu. Really excited to see this race play out. Obviously, this is the best of the best at this point in the tournament, and it should be a great race. I'm Ace Zero, joined on commentary by Fox. How are you doing, Fox?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm really excited to see these two runners race. These are some of the best, really, as you said before.
Yeah, this is it's a culmination of clearly it doesn't always happen like this in SMZ3, and sometimes it's an artificial distinction, but we very much have a Super Metroid main and a Link to the Past main. Audraxys has won multiple SM related tournaments, randomizer type things over the years, and Gammachuu, I believe, recently just won the Link to the Past randomizer spoiler tournament. Also has had a lot of other wins and just high rankings and Link to the Past events. Both obviously very competent and skilled at both games, but really excited to see how those differences in skill sets kind of shape their decision making and routing, and how that'll play out in the race.
And it looks like we're off. Gammachuu sprite being, of course, Baby Mario and Yoshi. I truly love that sprite.
Yeah, I love the aiming reticle from Yoshi's Island, where it shows you the X where you're shooting the eggs. Is pretty neat.
The jump animation is top tier as well.
All right. And of course, for anyone not aware too much with the settings for this tournament, it is normal logic, which is potentially influencing both of our runners to immediately go to Link to the Past. Only one of the blue Brinstar items that's available right now is in logic because it's normal. So a little less value going down there early compared to what you'd see in potentially a hard logic race.
It's interesting. We have Audraxys saving quitting out to Sanctuary after getting 50 rubies. Doesn't want to check Uncle.
I really like that play. The other option, I think, would be to just head straight west to Kakariko and try to grab a bomb on the way. With 50 rupees, you can buy bombs, so you don't have to worry about going to Kakariko and having a really inefficient clear. So it really cuts down the effectiveness of the uncle check that some runners like to do, having those rupees in pocket.
Yeah. And we're also skipping Scouting Lumberjack Ledge, it looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense as well, because some of the efficiency of the lumberjack check is also, again, getting an extra tree pull, getting the bush crab check, which is good info, especially if those are bombs. It can save you from having to buy them. It can make bottle vendor easier to factor in. But you're not going to get lumberjack for quite a while. You're not going to try to push it unless you have boots and sword and lamp and everything else to do aga, but you don't really want to anyway. So.
And we've got Gammachuu back now. Judging from the time, I think Gammachuu probably did do Uncle, but I'm not sure if he picked anything up there.
Yeah, he's got a bomb and a few extra rupees. So I'm guessing the tree pole was the blue rupees. Audra grabbed that on the way here on the north side. The bomb must have been a drop from one of the guards, probably, that he killed with the pots. He's got a little bit of magic, so he grabbed the magic pots at Uncle, which I really like. That can be very helpful. It isn't really something you think about too much, like later in the race, but early map check. It's like Pendant, Hera, Crystal Eastern, and an SM boss at Desert Palace.
Yep. We have DJ Webb tracking for us today. Thank you, DJ Webb. As always, trackers are our MVPs. It's interesting. Gammachuu going the south way, and neither of our runners scouting lumberjack ledge today. Sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting the south route. So a lot of players like to do the save and quit out of the Lost Woods drop down. It's a little bit time consuming to get out of there to Kakariko. If you just start back at Link's house and walk from the south, it's really similar in time. It's interesting because that's more advantageous probably for Audraxys not having any bombs to do that save and quit. And also Gammachuu has more money for potentially Bottle Vendor too, so like it's less helpful for him, but it's still totally a valid play, and it'll be nice to see where they converge or which one ends up being faster, because you don't usually see too much of a side-by-side.
Get an early Ether Medallion, which is interesting. Not too exciting, but it could be one of the required medallions.
Yeah, without the sword, we can't use it yet, but medallions can be a really rough go mode.
Oh, there's Morph.
Have you seen supers yet? Do you know? I don't recall seeing any super missiles.
No, I don't recall. We are in Sphere 1, so we will have a guaranteed pack of them, but in Varia,
yeah.
wow.
Okay. And I did see power bombs, so the sanctuary was power bombs. I know we saw those. Audra skipping out on. So this is the problem with coming into the north like that and then buying bombs and going back up to like Blind Sut and the well, is that it's really time consuming for Audraxys to get back to like check the library and check race game. So they're just not even bothering, save and quit out of Blind Sut. Probably trying to pair that in later with like Bottle Vendor, maybe a flute activation. Or
oh, there's
like
the supers.
Okay, so now we have at least one of all the items that we need to get around the basic Super Metroid. We have missiles, supers, power bombs. Missiles not actually required if you have supers, but really good for menuing.
I don't think there was anything on race game in particular.
Yeah, I think Gammachuu scouted it, and I already forgot what it was, so it must not have been great.
Super pack. Gammachuu picking up their Morph Ball. And Varia. And we're going to get a look at Mini Moldorm Cave from Audraxys. You think they'll go to Ice Rod Cave?
Probably. We still only have one power bomb pack and no other, particular movement items for Super Metroid.
Oh, Half Magic and Mirror are very nice, though.
So yeah, I would say I would definitely expect, especially with walking out, you can see right now, but I would definitely have expected Ice Red Cave. I know. I don't know. I have so much trouble sometimes reading or projecting what Audra's going to do. It always seems to throw me off. It always makes sense in retrospect, but it's never what I expect in many cases. So I was going to say I don't know if they're going to do the fake flipper or not to Man Under the Bridge or to Zora area. Probably not to the waterfall. Well, maybe they won't check Ice Rock Cave after all.
Maybe not.
I wouldn't see that at this point. You take the death there and you just have to...
Yeah, you just go to Super Metroid at this point, I think.
You maybe go back if you get boots or flute, or if you have... With Mirror already in pocket, actually one nice thing you can do to clear that item up is come out of Meridia at the portal and then just Mirror. It doesn't usually come up because it's kind of just... It's nicer to have whatever's there earlier, but that's really the most efficient time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, we're going into Super Metroid, which is exciting.
Yeah,
Gammachuu picking up his mirror. Is Upper Norfair and Logic now with Varia?
We still don't have any movement to get through to Cathedral. There's, other than a very silly, obscure trick like damage off the Nova you can do, there's not really a way to get up there to the actual business center, or sorry, Bubble Mountain area from business center. So we just need like high jump or bombs or space jump, speed booster, any of those, get access to a whole bunch of stuff there. Gammachuu equally low on health, one hit from the crabs. I actually really like this. That's incredibly smart.
Whoa!
That's so smart. You get iframes when you jump in the water. I've never considered doing that, and Gammachuu showing off why he is like a top Link to the Past rando player.
Wow,
You jump in the
that
water.
crab at the entrance of the cave, though.
Yeah, you jump in the water and it gives you iframes if you don't have flippers when it respawns you on land. So it's doing that. He's using that to like just guarantee that the crabs won't hurt him. And
Wow,
clearly
that
knows
is-
the length of time on the iframes because he had no fear of that last crab at the doorway, like you pointed out, Fox.
Wow, I had fear of that last crab.
Me too. All right, and Gamma is doing the fake flipper. I like this.
Yeah.
Still like the
Audraxys
one
didn't
power
really
bomb
have
pack.
Yeah, Audraxys didn't really have the what's the word? Time the time to do this after dying?
Right, yeah, walking all the way back down to the South Shore would be too much. If Gammachuu gets like another power bomb pack even here, that'll be worth. That's kind of the way I think of some of these like slower one-off early checks in Link to the Past. It's like even just ammo can be helpful for SM. So
Oh
like,
no!
oh, okay,
That's big!
that's big. You see a little smile, like chuckle on Gammachew's face there. Excited about that speed booster. I don't know if that's a play he normally makes, but I think that early fake flipper to Hobo there is, I think it's more popular in SMZ3, and I think Gammachuu being like, he's so smart at these games and like uses knowledge of what his opponent's going to do to route and affect his decisions. I think that he knows that that's a more popular play in SMZ3 and is like going to do it to not lose time missing a Link to the Past check, but I could be wrong.
Fair. Okay, so we've got Book for Audraxys and Speed Booster for Gammachuu.
And the funny thing is, the speed booster locks that book. But the speed booster's not in logic because it's the fake flipper. So
and Glove for Gammachuu and Moon Pearl for Audraxys. So we have Dark World access. So, well, I mean, we have beginning baby's first step to Dark World access.
Yeah, we actually don't have a way to get there just yet without the hammer or another glove or just a way to get through Aga Tower, but it is close. We can at least do like, if we get to the Lower Norfair area, we could check Mire and stuff like that. Checkerboard, Mire Shed, that's available with a very out of logic lava dive.
Oh boy.
Alright, so it looks like Gammachuu going to Super Metroid now.
And we'll have a little bit of an advantage over Audraxys in the Bryn Loop because of it.
Yeah,
check Waterway.
You got a power bomb pack too, and he's going to use the speed booster right away to check the criteria power bombs. Gonna helicopter up there.
I love that sprite.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with this one, but it's very cool.
Gammachuu saying nope to missile pack.
Yeah, it's the acid cycles there can eat a surprising amount of time. Like if you got the item, you might have had to wait one more like rise and fall of the acid, and missiles aren't really that important.
Audraxys picked up another power bomb pack, so they're in a better spot.
Yeah, that is good. I didn't see where Gammachuu got the second one. I must have missed it, but having a second one coming in is really helpful. Fearlessly going through Gauntlet here.
I think it was Saha's Closet.
Gammachuu definitely showing off, like, he's very practiced at this, even though he's new to Super Metroid. Like, this is a gauntlet from somebody that knows what they're doing. I've seen a lot of Super Metroid players, like speedrunners of the game that are new to Randomizer, that don't know how to do like a 10 power bomb gauntlet and make it look very scary. But Gammachew's making it look easy. So props to him for like learning the right way how to do these things, where to lay the power bombs, how to mitigate the acid. I say that as he takes this really risky at the end, but he's got 2 tanks, so it's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and Various Suit. I forgot that they have Various Suit, so that's actually very fine.
So Audraxys actually scouted back of Gauntlet and saved some time here. Audraxys is probably not going to do Gauntlet.
Probably not. It's a time save unless Audra ends up doing the front anyway later, and then it's pretty close to neutral. Maybe still a slight time save to like save scum the front of it, but it's pretty close. We'll see.
Audra picking up the heart piece.
It's early. I as a notorious heart piece skipper, I'm not mad about that one. Until you have like a sword and boots, and like around 5 hearts total at least, like you're made of paper.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then when you can start dashing through enemies, it's okay.
One thing I learned is that runners aim up and down a bunch when they run because it pushes them 1 frame forward and it's actually faster. Is that right?
Yeah, it just moves Samus horizontally 1 pixel every time you like change from like aiming straight to like angle up or angle down. There's some weird interactions with slopes where you can get pushed off the slope and then you like have like a falling and it loses your speed. So there's places where you want to know not to do that. Sometimes newer runners that start doing it everywhere will end up losing time because they do it in bad places. But it's a really minor but like still marginally useful skill.
That's fair. Gammachuu picking up his book.
We get a map check in Meridia too, seeing the crystal there at Dragon. That will be required.
Now, the only check that we're going to see from Gammachuu that we didn't see from Audraxys is Waterway in Pinkbren, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Ooh, there's Kane. Early Kane. I'm always telling you, it's either a jet seed or a terrible seed. Something's in Turtle Rock. This is the takeaway I get from those. But
yeah, we have. I think I missed it. But Gammachuu must have spoken to Sahasrahla and saw that the Meyer is the green pendant. It looks like. So that one's not required necessarily to beat the game, but it does have a little extra value with the green pendant, and then that means Turtle Rock is likely a crystal or SM boss.
Right. And it changes the only 2 item checks in Meyer to 3, right?
Yes, that's right. 3 1/3 if you count the pedestal.
Oh god, let's not. Charge beam on Audraxys' side.
Nice. I'm actually really impressed that they were able to correct that Kraid quick kill with the shot angled up into the ceiling. That was a nice fix to not really lose any time. Still get the quick kill there.
Really cool. Skill of our runners is on full display here.
Oh yeah. Gammachuu getting just slightly hecked up by the lack of high jump boots to go with the speed.
He doesn't need it, maybe.
He doesn't need it, but it cuts your jump height a little bit. The graph of like jump height versus speed is really weird, and he had a little bit extra trouble getting up to the Mission Impossible because of it.
Fair enough. Alright, and that's 1 boss down for Audraxys. Audraxys gonna check out... What do you call this check? X-rays? It's not X-rays.
This is Ice Beam and Crumble Tower. Crumble Tower is the lower one. Interesting. I'm taking this really safe for having various suit.
Looks like they're farming power bombs. Bottle.
Where's Bottle? I mean, it's in logic. It's just annoying if you fall through the crumbles.
But we don't fall through the crumbles here.
Not when you have various suit. You only fall through when you're at like minimum health and doing suitless hell runs and end up getting out of the room with like 1 energy.
I'm sensing some personal experience here.
It's not just me. I think it was one of our league races that happened to Audra, where they ended up like leaving on like single-digit energy, and it was really sketchy. But it was a survival.
Speaking of low energy, Audra kind of low. But picking up their sword, wow.
Yeah, well, I guess fortunately, in a way, Audra doesn't have much left to check in SM at the moment. So they won't really need that energy for anything. We'll see. Gammachuu, check this waterway. Get new info here.
Alright, let's see. Nothing. Audraxys didn't miss anything.
Nope, not yet. Gammachuu does have the option here, though, to go up Blueprint Star with the extra Power Bomb pack. You could go up that way and check Shaft Supers. It's also unavailable to Audra at the moment.
Is the Billy Mays room open?
Yes, yeah, that's just Power Bomb locked. It's always available though with Power Bombs.
Why is it called Billy Mays?
It's called that because there's one item that's visible on the pedestal, and then Billy May's catchphrase is "But wait, there's more." And sure enough, there's another missile pack hidden right next to the first one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Chat going crazy with the Billy Mays references. Can't blame them. It's super fun. Looks like Gammachoo's gone Blueprint Star, so curious to see what's here. So far, missiles.
Yeah, with the speed booster, I like this. You can save a couple power bombs, and you can actually check everything, including that Shaft Supers check, so you're not ever going to have to come back. Burna's nice. That could be needed.
It could. I think it only logically puts a couple checks into logic, like Spike Cave.
Yeah, it's just Spike Cave, or potentially... Actually, I don't know how the logic works with Blind, but the sword's available, so that's irrelevant anyway.
Did Old Man have anything for us? I didn't see.
Don't think so. Some supers in the ceiling. I think Gammachoo's going to go back for those on his way out here, but we'll see. I think it'd be worth. Ooh, plasma. Alright, well, Audraxys doesn't really need any more ammo at this point with plasma charge.
Ice Beam and Billy Mays.
That was a fairly quick map check. I saw Pendant Skull Woods. That's an important one. And it looked like Pod was a red crystal.
I could not tell you.
Too much information.
I missed it entirely.
You saw that. You were looking at that ice beam, and I was trying to look at the map, and both important things to know. Good thing there's two of us to help a little bit make this easier.
Yeah. Billy Mays saying, "But wait, there's more!" And Ice Beam.
Oh, Gammachuu did skip the supers in the ceiling. That's surprising, actually.
That is interesting. I would think at this early stage you're going for ammo kills. There's no guarantee you're going to find plasma.
Right, and you don't... Plasma, like, Mother Brain is really helpful. Obviously, it's helpful in a lot of places, but, like, the big places are Mother Brain and Ridley. He does have 30 supers, which is the amount you need for Ridley, but there's no guarantee you even get charge at all, which means you might need more. Oh, he doesn't have enough power bombs. Dude.
Oh, no.
I forgot that... okay. Yeah, I miscounted when he was going into Blueprint Star. There's a speedball you can do that's really difficult to save the first power bomb he used. and I miscalculated that he would need an extra one without either knowledge or the experience of practicing that. So that speedball.
Now I just had speedballs explained to me, so let me see if I got it.
Sure.
But it's essentially a continuation of Shine Spark state in ball form, in morph ball form, so you can break breakable blocks with it, right?
Yeah, you get the blue suit that you get while running with Speed Booster, and it just maintains that. You mock ball in a way that it keeps that speed state exactly like you said. So yeah, Gammachuu not checking that. I was hoping we'd see the save at Parlor. There's a save right next to 230, and he could have saved and went back down to the Shaft Supers check. Like basically save scummed it. I guess it would have been, I don't know. He still would have had to like farm up and go back a second time if it was required, but it would have been good info at least.
Audraxys might scout it though. Kind of doubt, but we'll see.
You know, it almost might have been worth to like fight Bomb Chorizo to get some power bomb drops and then go back for it. But I guess he's just gonna leave it.
It is orphaned, but it's not the worst orphan, I think.
I don't know. It's one that I think for me just feels worse because like you're passing right by it and you're always thinking like, did my opponent just check it on the way up and grab the free item that was directly on path, you know? Because some of them like X-Ray is always out of the way a little bit. Like the pre-X-Ray room is a slow room, so there's no way to do it like totally on path.
Are we gonna go check moats? Probably.
Looks like he's just going straight across. Yeah, getting the Shine Spark across the moat. Looks like Gammachuu will at least be doing the bottom of Rex ship.
So, if you've been watching Gammachuu, what are your thoughts about his Super Metroid gameplay? Because I have no perspective. I'm just wowed by both of them.
He's clearly like really practiced at a lot of rando things, which is what he mentioned after the race I had with him, like that he's been like practicing like specific strats. Like he knows the setups, he knows exactly where and how to do these things. Like he's not going for like these crazy short charges, but he knows how to do them comfortably, which is way more important. Especially in SMZ3, you don't really need a lot of like the really, really high-end strats to like win a race like you might in a Super Metroid Randomizer by itself. But you definitely need to know and have strats and be prepared and understand like what you can do where. And he's just clearly got that down.
Ooh, boots and wrecked ship though.
Oh yeah, those are nice. And he's not really done much more of Link to the Past than Audra, so it's not like he's wasted a ton of time doing things without those boots, other than like Sahasrara and Man Under the Bridge. But that's swimming, so the boots don't help you much there anyway.
I think you can pull off a water walk with boots, but...
True. Yeah, so I guess maybe Audra could do that and save a tiny bit of time, but fortunately Gammachuu didn't dip into Eastern Palace or anything like that, bootless, and end up losing a bunch of time. Get an X-ray check from Audra.
We're getting a Fantoon fight from Gammachuu. So I'd probably give the advantage to Gammachuu at this early juncture, and it is an early juncture. Don't be mistaken, but Gammachuu's got boots, got glove. Audra's got Master Sword.
Yeah, Audra's got a couple swords. Also has boss progress with Kraid. That sword is interesting because that, I don't know. Depending on how Gammachuu routes from Rex ship, he might not get that sword ever. This early X-ray is really difficult. Audra made it look free. This is one of the things that's like, I don't think this is in Gammachoo's wheelhouse yet. It takes a lot of precision in practice. It's very specific. Audra probably wouldn't even have done it without Ice Beam as like a backup. Not that they couldn't do it without the backup. They didn't need the backup, but just to make it.
Audra really did make it look free. And we got Crystal 4 off of Fantoon. Great fight.
So yeah, the big question is, like, I guess the boots Audra's gonna get at some point. Looks like they're going up to wreck ship area now. Probably gonna get the boots before any more Link to the Past. So that's kind of a wash.
Well, it's time neutral for both of the runners, which...
Exactly, yeah. So really the advantages are that Master Sword for Audra that Gammachuu might not get, and the speed booster for Gammachuu that Audra might not get, at least, I guess, maybe ever.
Well, nope. Audra's probably going to check that.
Yeah, they're in logic now. Okay, so we know where...
Ooh, space jump and wreck ship.
Where that comes up. That's good too. That's actually... Okay, that's actually really good for Audra if they're going to wreck ship now, because wreck ship has some really slow checks, like the sky missiles that speed booster saves a ton of time on, but space jump kind of also fixes that and makes it easy.
So Audra like, yeah, I'll pick up the bombs. Why shouldn't I?
Yeah, I like that. It's hard to know sometimes when you've been in Super Metroid for a while. It's like, do I have bombs? Like, so when I go back to Link to the Past, am I going to be on, like, one bomb and need to go buy more or farm them somewhere? Like, it's good sometimes just to pick up extras just in case. Or they might be on top of it and know, like, hey, I came to this game with 3 bombs. I'll pick up another 3-pack to be set. Oh, Audra doesn't actually have a good way to get across moat other than CWJ, so... They might just give this one attempt and then bail if they mess it up. That looks like a good setup.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Nice.
Easy. Buttery smooth. Audra really making this look easy, but it's not.
Yeah. And it's interesting. That one is, like, some runners, like especially a lot of vanilla runners, know the timing of the CWJ with the fanfare and can do it really well with fanfare. And some people, like, struggle to do it with fanfare because they practice it without, you know... But having, like, the shortened fanfare, where, like, there's a small text box, but you don't have to wait the 7 seconds, that kind of makes it harder, in my opinion, but not
I
for
think
Audra.
It depends on what you're used to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Gammachuu might go back for X-Ray, too, with that space jump. There's a question in chat about, is that something he's going to check? So that's interesting that it helps Audra here in wreck ship, but it might help Gammachuu get that other sword that he otherwise might not be picking up.
I don't think Audra lost a ton of time on the X-ray check, though, if Gammachuu is also going to do it. Space jump speeds that up, but Audra just flew through it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long room either way, so, like, most of the time is lost because of that, and if you do the damage boost setup and you fail it and have to reset the room, that's where it starts getting really time-consuming.
DJ Webb asks, it should always be the same for the CJW jump, because you have to manually clear the fanfare? Is that true?
Technically, yes, but not mentally. Maybe I'm just weird, but for me, it's very much not the same.
Fair enough. We're gonna get a cool Fantoon fight out of Audraxys, though.
That's with a grain of salt, because I'm not good at either of them.
We're gonna see a bunch of Dopplers. What's the fastest kind of Doppler you can do on Fantoon?
So it's really about keeping Fantoon on screen. So sometimes, like, to get the Doppler set up to work, you'll have to, like, let Fantoon swoop way off the screen and then come back. That loses a little bit of time. Otherwise, they're all pretty much the same, as long as it's just about getting as many missiles in as possible for the most part to reduce the number of phases. Like, technically, some of the top runners can do 1 rounds where they shoot 19 missiles. It's 2 and then 2 and then 15 missiles with a super at the end, which is crazy.
Is that Nita Riffic in the chat said a stutter Doppler? Is that a stutter Doppler?
Yeah, to get that many, you have to stutter. I don't know how many you can get with or without stutters, but usually if you get like four or five, or rather, if you get like 5 and 6 missiles in each Doppler, that's sufficient for a 2-round. I don't want to get too much into the weeds.
That's fair. That's fair.
with these, but there's a lot of slight variations, and depending on what patterns you get to start, a lot of runners will opt to like go for off screen to get a 2-round, maybe because of where the opening happened, or just be comfy and do a 3-round to keep Phantoon on screen.
That's fair. I'm not well versed, but I've heard that Phantoon's definitely one of the harder fights, especially in speedrunning.
Oh yeah, there's so many little details that go into everything. I don't know how much health Gammachuu has in his reserve. Hopefully it's a good amount.
We will see.
Also,
But
this
yeah.
is a new check on the left. Gammachuu did not opt to do this. This is a really slow check.
Did Audraxys save? Maybe do a save?
No, I don't think so. With Space Jump, it's not as important to save. I'm a pretty big proponent with Varia and Space Jump. The like the Spiky Room of Death isn't that scary, and like going to the save scum takes a lot more time, I think, than many people give it credit for, because you have to go into the room, activate the save, go back out of the room, and then the reset takes time if you save scum. So.
That is fair. Gammachuu picking up his flippers. Audraxys had a little smile on their face when they picked up their Space Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Probably really happy to see it.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it makes the top of wreck ship better, but also like it gives Audra a little bit more information on what unlocks wreck ship, because this is out of logic as far as they're concerned. Without Space Jump, Speed Booster, Grapple, or Gravity Suit, there's no way to get here logically.
But now Audraxys knows that something has to put this in logic.
Yeah, something that isn't the Space Jump. Gammachuu is now back in logic with the flippers.
Yep, completely back in logic.
The game wanted you to do Red Tower, then do Hobo, then do Wreck Ship, but neither of our runners thought that was a good order of operations.
Yeah, understandable. The game has some silly ideas about where you should go first. Oh, yep. Gammachuu definitely picking up their first sword at X-Ray. So, we did see Gammachuu do X-Ray. But that was Audraxys' second sword. When did they get their first one?
The first one was somewhere at like Bubble Business Center, I want to say. Ice Beam. It was Ice Beam.
Ah, yeah. So
which is in logic for Gammachuu with Speed Booster, so that's something I would expect him to pick up as well and get that other sword.
Audraxys is gonna take the 300 rupees. I think that makes sense, especially because Zora is still a check that exists.
Yeah, I want to point out too again, Gammachuu showing a lot of like he's playing this like he's been playing SMZ3 for a long time. That little like so there when you lay the power bomb, like right here in this room before Spazer, he fell down the hole and then did a quick jump off the crumble block to get back up without having to wait for the block to reform. That's another thing that like a lot of new SMZ3 players or even SM Randomizer players, like even if they're super experienced at the game, just don't think about that. And Gammachoo's so on top of these strats, like that's why he's able to. Honestly, looks like he's kind of got a slight advantage having the speed booster here, even though most of the play has been in SM, where Audra has just a slight movement advantage.
Due to their experience?
Yeah, like there's some of the little things like it's hard to notice unless they're running the same route, but if they were, you'd be able to see like slightly cleaner ledge grabs and things like that on Audra's side, like consistently saving like frames here and there.
I mean, Gammachoo's Super Metroid's been really, really impressive.
Oh yeah.
Probably gonna see a quick kill on grade from Gamma too. And they're gonna pick up their charge. Yep, quick kill.
Nice. And I wasn't even thinking about it. I noticed in chat someone pointed out Audra being careful at moat to avoid the soft lock. They do not have any power bombs. They had calculated the number of power bombs needed to clear top of wreck ship, and if you fall on the right side of moat there with no power bombs and no morph bombs, you're soft locked and have to reset. So
oh yikes.
very, very heads up for them not to do that.
Super Metroid, you have a lot of freedom, but there are also a lot of soft locks chilling.
Yeah, the game definitely expects you to have morph bombs there, and in a lot of places. So the game's designed to not let you soft lock, but when you randomize the bombs somewhere and you don't get them potentially ever, that makes it a little more challenging.
Yeah, I'm picking up blue mail from Craig's closet.
Let's see. So I'm trying to think where. So Gamma could do Bubble Mountain or could go to like Tower of Hera. That is a pendant, isn't it? Okay, that may not be very smart then. probably checks. Yeah, I was gonna say probably gets the plasma at the very least. Maybe dips it because Audra did that, right?
You can get
Didn't
Ether
they get the
tablet
first
too now.
2 checks? Oh, you're. Yeah, that's right. Did Audra check Ether? I completely missed that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they checked Hera. There was a small key, I want to say, in the basement cage.
Yes.
I don't remember what the other chest was.
Yeah, I think it was an item, so big key was on logically in basement.
Right, and no.
Audra picking up speed booster now.
No hook shot and no fire source, so that's not available. That's interesting. So now the Gammachuu has Charge Beam, opts to get those super missiles that are still slightly out of the way. After skipping the ones that were potentially more advantageous, but a little bit slower to get in the ceiling E-Tank check.
Gotta get some more power bombs for Audra on Bonk Rocks. Very nice. I think 15's like the prime number of power bombs, right?
Yeah, for the most part, unless you're doing hard logic where you might have to do some hell runs, 15's pretty much enough for everything. I mean, you still might end up doing hell runs in very rare cases, but
oh, that is grapple.
There. Yeah, head shake. Like, well, not getting that. Like, no, thank you, Aga.
Shack tool. Sorry.
It could be, but they got Ice Beam, so they're not gonna do Aga just to do Shack Tool.
Dangy.
We might see an Ice Clip.
Yeah.
Especially because it's one item out of logic. Like that grapple's in logic. Well, Shack Tool's more than one item, but the grapple is in logic with just adding a lamp to what the runners currently have.
Audra's gonna route in the ice rod cave now. I think is a good call.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Things have worked out pretty well for them. Like, it's interesting because like things have kind of worked out well for both runners. Like, neither of them getting punished for anything. Gammachuu getting like rewarded with that early fake flipper that was kind of slow by getting the speed booster, but then Audra did the hobo check faster with flippers and got bailed out with the space jump. At wreck ship, like.
Oh right, didn't Audra pick up speed booster? Speed booster was on old dude, right?
It was on the under the bridge, and they did check that on the way to Ice Rod Cave just a moment ago.
Yes.
Yep. So they're good there. We're kind of back on even footing. And I pretty even, like almost screen for screen. We'll be in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, minus a glove, which is in Saha's closet,
Right.
which is gonna be on the way for Audra at some point, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I mean, could even be like nice for Audra. I guess Gammachuu did do Back of Escape already. I forget if we got a key there. I think it was like Missile Super and something.
Ooh, I couldn't tell you.
That would mean if the key was back there, then Front of Escape is a little bit more value.
Well, Audraxys hasn't been in the castle at all, as I recall.
Right.
And probably won't get back there until 2 hours in, right? That's the meme?
I don't know. I think it's a lot easier for Audra to get back there, having not done Uncle, having the mirror, and being really close to Dark World access already.
I do think it'll be a lot faster for Audra when they do decide to go back.
What are Red Crystal's Pod and Ice Palace? Shoutouts to DJ Webb again for the excellent tracking so far.
Yes, thank you so much.
Those are not the worst, but still kind of... I wouldn't put a lot of stock into Pyramid Fairy, basically, so I'd be more inclined to do early Pyramid Ledge and Mirror to Front of Escape if I were playing this with this dungeon layout and this item set at the moment. But that, of course, requires that they actually get Dark World access at some point to be able to do that. If Dark World access is locked behind Front of Escape, might be rough for both of them.
It's time to play one of my favorite games. What could be on pedestal? Because we know all the pendant dungeons. So Hammer can't be on pedestal. There's a glove.
Actually, Hammer could be on pedestal. We could have mitts for Skullwood's access. Pod's a red crystal.
Oh, right. I'm
pendant,
foolish.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell with the little icons, like the red star next to that looks kind of like the green pendant one.
Yeah. So Hera's only requirement is mirror.
Yeah, fire source, since the big key is in the basement, is needed for that, and then
another fire source.
We need a lamp for Meyer. Lamp for Meyer,
Skullwood.
maybe a pendant, something to get to the Meyer area, something for Skullwoods like mitts or hammer. Kind of early to start talking too much about Ped with any seriousness.
Is Meyer in logic with boots, or do you need hookshot to get into the entryway?
Either one works. It's an either or situation there.
Okay.
So you can bonk or use hookshot.
Okay, so Hammer could be on pedestal. We don't wanna jinx anything. We don't. But
yeah,
Fire Rod
cannot
be on pedestal, right?
Correct. I really like this croc play from Gammachuu, specifically with no high jump boots. I guess space jump helps a little bit, but like he's got speed. He can just route from Ice Beam down into Croc. It's pretty fast to get there. Lets you just clear all this out before going to Bubble Mountain, and then you can come back through Cathedral. Saves some traversal through like Frog Speedway and coming up Bubble Mountain that way, which is, you're not getting items.
Yep.
If you're gonna do Croc anyway, like you might as well do it first here.
Yeah.
Or you could do it at the end and then go up Crumble Tower. That's the other option, but either way adds a little efficiency to the route.
I'm just happy to see Croc in a run. He's my favorite.
Oh yeah, Croc's great.
He's so cute. Look at him, he's just trying to jump scare you. Giving you a little hug before you continue.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Plasma was freely available, and Gammachuu didn't even go up to check.
Oh yeah.
Check on Spec Rock and into Hera. Didn't want to mess with any of that. So that would have saved some time on the croc fight, but like
For sure.
not that much. That was a good croc fight. Not it was good both RNG wise and execution wise. Croc didn't throw too many projectiles at Gammachuu.
Yeah, but we're gonna see just how. Yep.
Here he's just gonna walk away.
He's just gonna dance.
Croc's gonna slowly back up until it's too late. And there's nowhere to back up anymore.
He's just got a boogie. He's got boogie fever. Oh, there's flute on Croc. That's
interesting.
That's interesting, yeah. So technically we have in-logic mitts. We have no-mode mitts. So we do have Dark World access.
Wait, where were mitts that I'm forgetting?
So mitts were Audraxys got glove in Norfair Reserve, and
yeah.
And Gammachuu got his gloves in Saha's closet, so we have mitts in play.
Yeah, okay, I completely missed that. So that's Mire available, at least the Mire area, and some of the dungeon.
Maybe they should just go ahead and do all dungeons.
I don't think either of them are going to want to do
I know.
Lampless Pendant Mire with no bow for Viddy.
I'm being silly. Let me have it.
But yeah, Lower Norfair is available too with that. The Space Jump, that gets you through worst room in the game.
Yeah. Is worst room in the game pretty painless with Space Jump, or is it still pretty bad?
It's pretty painless. As long as you kill as long as you're able to kill the gold pirates, I would say it's painless with Space Jump.
And I'll just
it's harder without high jump to use like the iframes from power bombs to get through the gold pirates, but if you just use some missiles or supers or your charged plasma ice beam in Audra's case, they're pretty free.
That's fair. You don't always have that going into worst room of the game, though.
Nope. And in Gammachuu's case, it might be a little bit worse because he might not want to use too much ammo on it. Like if he does decide to go there before getting the plasma, maybe tries not to use too much ammo and then could have a little trouble with the gold pirates. But the safe play is just use the ammo up front, farm it back later if you have to for Ridley.
Gammachuu's actually going to get mitts here, so I'll be curious to see if they go back to Link to the Past.
Yeah, as far as like Dark World, I'm trying to think of what the good
thieves.
plays are. Thieves, but no hammer, so you might be leaving an item behind.
Yeah. You could do Hype Cave, maybe?
You can do Ice Palace in its entirety. No, you don't have Hookshot. I'm dumb. Ignore me.
We also don't have a fire source.
I got excited because I have yet to see a hammerless Ice Palace in this tournament, since that's been legalized.
We also don't have a fire source, so we can't even get in the front door.
Sorry, I my brain is definitely not working. I meant to say Swamp Palace.
Oh, yep.
And I said Ice Palace, and I was still wrong because I forgot the hook shot. But I wanted to see a nice reward from a Specky clip, some interesting routing. But
so neither of our runners have checked Sick Kid, right?
I don't think so. But with the bottle, they can do it
probably
efficiently. Yeah. When Audraxys hasn't done race game or library, so this is really efficient to be able to do that on the way up. With boots, don't even have to scout the library. You can actually get the item if it's something good. Yeah,
we really didn't lose anything by skipping this early.
Yeah, I feel like that happens more often than not. Like if you're in a situation where you have to backtrack across Kakariko, you're gonna have a reason to go back to it, even if it's just to activate a flute or something. So even if it's something critical here, you're usually still okay having put it off. Unless it's you're more for something for direct progression that you need right away.
Yeah, but nothing crazy. Sick Kid might have something, though. Yeah. And we're going to activate our flute anyway, so it's going to be a good time. Gammachuu zooming through the speed booster. You'd love to see it. Just an E-tank on Sick Kid. Nothing crazy. So, Is Audraxys starting to run low on checks?
Kind of. Like, there's still a good number of checks. It just is coming up on when I think they're going to get pushed to Sahasrara and Eastern, and then that'll really break things open with the mitts. I can't imagine they'll put that up for too much longer, since they don't have a fire source for desert. Like, fluting over there isn't the best.
Yeah, we're going Eastern.
Front of Escape is like, I don't think it's as good as Sahasrara and potentially Eastern here.
Yeah, I think we're going here.
But I don't think they're going to do Eastern once the mitts show up here.
Are we? Is Lower Norfair in Logic right now? It is, right? Or not without gravity?
It is, yes, yeah. With the mitts and flute, they can get in there through the back door and not have to worry about using gravity to get through the lava.
Audraxys is giggling to themselves. But honestly, I couldn't tell you who's ahead right now.
It's pretty close. I think we have kind of the same checks. I think Audra's maybe slightly ahead now.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
Gammachuu did like Back of Escape, and Audra did. I want to say that they did something that Gammachuu did. Maybe not. Maybe Gammachuu's just like slightly ahead by a couple checks. It's very close. That's for sure.
Yeah. A lot of money, but nothing on Zora. That's King's Tomb, I think, having supers.
Yep.
Audra's probably gonna do desert here.
Yeah, well, at least like it's a dungeon, so you have to go in and get the keys sorted out at some point. So you might as well do the front part here. Obviously, it doesn't have a fire source to do the boss, but you're not really losing any time doing the front now versus later.
Yeah.
Like, these are just required checks.
An item on Desert Torch, so not boots locked, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah, I think Audra's ahead, provided they don't go back for the slow speed checks. But even then, like, Gammachuu didn't actually check Shaft Supers, so like, if that's the progression, who knows when either of them get back to it.
Gammachuu releasing our duck, who I always thought was so cute as a little kid.
Oh, that was intentional. Okay, I thought Gammachuu just missed, missed the bird, and then I realized he's just going to Dark World here.
Yeah, I was staring like, did you miss your duck? Did you miss your ride?
I don't know if Gammachuu is one of the always check front of Skullwoods people, or never check front of Skullwoods, or what. It's a pendant, so I really like the check personally here. Pendant, he doesn't have hammer, so like being forced into hammerless Thieves Town's a little bit risky. It's a little bit better in case, like, that's two reasons there's a little bit more value here, because you might get like an item early and then be done in this dungeon.
Did we peek Meyer medallion requirements yet?
Oh, I didn't. I think Audra did.
Oh, there's Fire Rod.
You can't finish Skull without that Fire Rod that Audra found anyway, but you don't want to. You don't want to finish Pendant Skull, so it's fine.
Audra looked pretty sassy about that one.
Ideally, you get both the items in the front, and then you leave. Gammachuu showing off why it's bad to take the drop down sometimes. Because you don't get the key, and you have to go through the pinball room, and it's a lot of extra room traversal. If you have... It's pretty negligible, but I think there's too many variables, but I think in more cases than people realize, it's slower to take the drop down. I've done some amount of timing on it, and so has Structural Mike, and it depends on whether you use Quick Swap or not, whether you have Hook Shot or not, whether you have boots, where the items lay out, but
have we gotten our
getting the worst end of it.
Or 2 items out of Skullwoods yet? I guess not. If he's...
I think that was just one.
Yeah, he's going to the back.
Compass? I think it was Compass. Some garbage. Small key.
Okay. DJ Webb saying Meyer medallion requirement was Ether.
Okay, thank you, DJ.
Wow, what a clean Lando fight. Landmo.
Yeah, the
Grabbing
fire rod there
capture.
is really handy to be able to get to the boss while you're in the desert area.
Apparently, last item in Skull Woods is on Moth, and Gammachuu says no thank you.
Yeah, well, he actually can't get to there yet without the fire rod.
Fair enough. And we're gonna get a Nagina check. I was like Nagina checks. And a graveyard ledge check. I don't think we've seen Cave 45 yet. Just any tank, nothing big. Gammachuu heading to the desert area now. Probably gonna find that fire rod and wishing he had it earlier.
Yeah, I guess Gammachuu really trying to play it safe, not getting stuck leaving an item behind in Thieves Town.
So is there anywhere Logic's trying to point our runners to go to right now?
Other than just Dark World in general, I don't think so. But there's just a lot in Dark World that the Myth's opened up that's got to be where the next step is. It feels like. I mean, we've got Hype Cave available. We've got Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town. You know, Stumpy.
Can you get to Catfish from Thieves Town or Village of Outcasts?
Actually, so East Dark World. No, they have flippers.
They do have flippers.
Yes, you can get there from. It's a loop around. It's inconvenient, but
yeah, it's kind of super yucky. It's
definitely available.
So progression could be on Pyramid Ledge, could be on Catfish, could be somewhere super nasty. Yep. Definitely Ether for Meyer Medallion. Not that we technically care too much. And we're going on Lower Norfair, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. I mean, Charged Plasma definitely makes this more appealing for Audraxys than for Gammachuu. It makes this GT fight. I don't actually know if it's faster with this beam combo versus using just supers, but it makes it so you don't have to worry about farming ammo at all. You're not going to use all your supers on the GT fight and then have to farm them back for Ridley.
Gammachuu probably gonna do exactly what Audraxys did and find fire rod under the doormat.
Yeah, unquestionably, Gammachuu going to find the fire rod, and then no reason not to do desert, especially with the last item being on Landmo.
I don't know about you, but Lower Norfair is like one of my favorite areas of Super Metroid.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. I think casually my favorite would have to be Meridia probably.
Oh, Meridia is very, very cool.
It's just very comfy.
Yeah, it's super comfy. But I really like to see speedrunners just zoom through these endgame rooms. And that's worst room of the game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting familiar. One day I'll know all of the room names. Gammachuu going straight into Landmo. Probably gonna have a really easy time of it with Fire Rod.
Yep, yeah, Audra had a nice quick fight. I would expect the same from Gammachuu. Especially with half magic, like even if you miss a shot, like you can just kind of spray and pray. Just throw fire rod shots and hope they hit.
Go
after the
crazy.
first phase. Yeah. You see Gammachuu gets a second round, but cleans it up easily, even with a pretty bad RNG jump on that second phase. Really, a short hop away from the center of the screen is pretty unlikely there, but not enough to push a phase 3 for Gammachuu. Oh, interesting. So Gammachuu is not going to do lower Norfair here, it looks like. I think that the lack of plasma might be a difference. I mean...
Oh, it might, yeah.
That... If he had plasma, it might change things, I think. Because he would have to use... For a nice, safe, worst room in the game, he'd have to use supers or missiles. That's a little slower. Like, doesn't have charged plasma for Ridley or GT.
Someone in chat saying that the toughest part of memorizing room names is that some lava rooms actually have acid and some acid rooms actually have lava, which seems counterintuitive.
Yep. The spiky acid snake tunnel room does not have acid or snakes.
What?
I guess you could call Yapping Maws snakes, but I wouldn't say they're snakes.
Really nice Shine Spark Plasma Pirate kills, by the way, from Audra. Not much in Lower Norfair so far, but Lower Norfair is also so linear that you might as well just clear it.
Yeah, as long as Ridley's not a pendant, in which case you might be sinking a lot of time into that, but it's just, you gotta do it.
Oh. Tree CM says those aren't Plasma Pirates. That's probably right. Plasma Pirates are probably the pirates guarding plasma. Oh, there's
okay.
Hammer.
That's kind of a key under the doormat in a way. Hammer right next to Thieves Town.
We're seeing a lot of that.
It could be logically the key under the doormat, like to beat the boss. It can be hammer locked depending on where the small key is placed. Not that the runners would waste their keys and force that to happen to themselves. But it's at least comforting to know you're not leaving that last item behind, and it makes the rest of the Dark World clear a little bit more smooth.
For sure. So, what are we missing for Go mode? We're missing Bow, we're missing Ice Rod.
A hook shot for Swamp Palace is required.
Right.
Potentially a medallion for Turtle Rock.
There are some times where I've seen...
something else for some Meridia movement.
So
logically expected to be Gravity Suit, but like High Jump and Spring Ball, for example, would make it very comfortable for Audraxys. I don't know Gammachoo's experience with like suitless Meridia. There's a lot of... I don't know if he's like bothered to learn a lot of that stuff because it's not in logic anyway in normal, so that would be totally fair to not for this tournament, but the hard logic requires a bunch of that stuff with certain items. Dragon, of course, never in any logic required suitless, but if you're already doing the rest of it and you have High Jump and Grapple Beam and Spring Ball and all that, just learn the Dragon kill.
I mean, yeah. Nothing exciting in Lower Norfair, really. But Audraxys isn't going to lose too much time from it anyway, given how linear it is.
Yep. Gammachuu in basically the Lower Norfair of Link to the Past, maybe? Thieves Town is like possibly the most linear dungeon that exists, and it's required, so you gotta do it.
That's true. Chat pointing out that Gamma did play the last Hard Logic SMZ3 Community Seed, so maybe...
Yeah, I've seen him in Hard Logic races. I know some people have the mentality of like, I'll join, and if I have to do something that I don't know how to do, I'll just forfeit, or like, maybe like can do all the stuff, but not very quickly. Like, you can lose a lot of time in suitless Meridia if you're not comfortable with it, even if you like, you know, are capable of it and know how to do it. So there's a big difference there, I think, in like, you know, can he go through Main Street with High Jump and Spring Ball and Ice Beam, or can he do it fast without losing a ton of time? Stuff like that.
It's hard to do anything fast in suitless Meridia. Oh, ice rod in big chest.
Oh yeah,
so,
ice rod was required. I forgot we still needed that for
Yeah.
for Turtle Rock.
So
So
hopefully Audraxys picks
fine.
up the
Audra will
key.
get that. Yeah, there's no way Audra's missing that ice rod. The hammer's on path enough that they'll get that before. I mean, they have to get that before going to Turtle Rock, but before too long. In general, I think that'll lead right to ice rod because there's no reason you find hammer here and don't just full clear Thieves Town pretty much right after.
Yeah. Think we'll see Smith Chain?
I don't know. I would think so.
I figure
It's
figure we
still
would.
there's still enough items outstanding, both logically and that would just be really helpful, that being like thorough and full clearing is worth doing here. It's a lot harder to get away with making like aggressive plays or skips, like early to mid game in SMZ3 compared to like Link to the Past Rando, where there's so many fewer items you need that those
This
checks
might
are
be
a little
an
bit more
ether
viable.
tablet check, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Bo could still be on pedestal.
Yeah, it could be bow, gravity suit.
Oh no, not
A
pancakes.
medallion. Hook
Wait, a
shot.
medallion on pedestal? That seems so icky. Has that
It
happened?
happens. I certainly have had that happen in races.
Oh yeah, I think my first seed was a required medallion on ped, so.
I know
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Some of those are tricky, not only because they're not only because it's a ped seed, but because sometimes the wording is hard to tell. It's a little bit cryptic on some of the clues for those. I've had people ask, like, the one for Quake, for instance, says something about the Richter scale, and people that aren't familiar with that, you're like, what does this mean?
That's fair.
It's like, that's a Quake. You just gotta know.
I saw a hookshot being boing, 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 and I didn't really understand that, and I'm not sure I would have gotten that.
Yeah, that's actually the vanilla text for it. In like casual playthrough, it says boing when you pick up the hook shot, but I always think that's going to be spring ball when I see it for some reason, because that also goes
that makes
boing,
sense. Boing. Audra picking up their hammer and straight into Thieves.
Yep. So I think Audra's just gonna. I would expect them to just follow Gammachuu, and Gammachoo's like ahead on the progression chain, so to speak, here, but doesn't have that lower Norfair clear at the moment. So it's just gonna look like he's ahead straight up, but it's
Audra
pretty
didn't do
neck and neck still.
Thieves, I mean Skullwoods, right?
Right. With Fire Rod, I think that's good, because it's like more of a potential time sink. Like if it doesn't pay out, Audra's would be kind of committing to full clear it anyway, which is worse since it's a pendant. Whereas Gammachuu, like, if he doesn't find anything, oh well, it's only the front half of the dungeon. Gammachuu is gonna want that chest. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I know there's like a glitch where the chest is following you when it's doesn't look like it's following you, but I don't know how that works.
The way it works is the flag is set for the follower, but if you mirror, it like resets the flag. You have like, I don't know how many frames. It's a good amount of time before that flag is reset, where you can like talk to the locksmith or whatever, and like turn it in before that happens. But anytime you mirror, like it resets it. So you have to do Graveyard Ledge before you leave the chest behind. So now Gammachoo's going to leave the chest, and it'll still count as the follower flag that the game thinks he's carrying the chest around until like, I don't know, 30 frames or something. I'm just making up that number after he mirrors, and then it'll reset it.
Oh,
we actually did see an error with this. I think that was in this tournament. Was that MM2 that mirrored in the wrong position and lost the chest?
I think so.
Which is a rare thing, but it happens every once in a while. You just like space, or you mirror bonk on something, or you just do something slightly wrong, and you can mess it up, even at the high level.
No hype in Hype Cave to be had, sadly. Gammachuu looks very comfortable keeping purple chest on.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting he did Hype Cave before this. That might indicate something about what he's doing next, as in not going to Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Ledge, Front of Escape, Catfish, any of that. A lot of people will do turn in the purple chest, then do the tablet here, and then hit Hype Cave on the way back to the north.
Audraxys is nodding at that.
I mean, you're always happy to see Ice Rod on path. Like, at least in my opinion, I want me and my opponent to both have Ice Rod the whole seed. I'd rather have that than not see it and to constantly be worried that it's the one thing I didn't check.
That's more than fair. Does it look? Are we gonna go see Ice Palace from Gammachuu? Looks like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I wonder. Yeah, I mean that's again doing Hype Cave first. Nice Ancilla variable for that Fire Rod shot. It's super fast first room. But like, yeah, clearly doing Hype Cave into the tablet lets you be in the light world when you're done with those checks to flute somewhere. So that kind of told us that Gammachuu was going to want to flute somewhere after that.
Yeah, nice blind fight from Audraxys.
Super laggy, but very fast bomb kill on the Pengators.
Yep. Love to have hookshot for this room, don't always have it.
Yeah, hookshot or a level 3 or 4 sword, but that bomb strat is really neat if you can get it to kill all or like all but one of the Pengators.
Yeah, you can see a lot of really cool bomb strats from the super advanced Link to the Past runners, and Gammachuu happens to be one of those.
Oh yeah, I think I learned that one from Koi. He's got a lot of really good tutorials out there for some of these tricks. No, not really a trick so much as just a setup for a clean room.
I don't think we've seen Shovel Game, have we?
We did. Yeah, Gammachuu checked
Okay.
this before grabbing the frog to turn in for the smith check.
Right.
It was supers, I think? Might have been missiles. It was ammo of some kind.
Well, we love to see ammo.
Well, Audra doesn't with the plasma beam. It doesn't really help at all.
Well...
For Gammachuu, it was still worth picking up, but for Audra, it's just not even worth the 1 second animation to raise it up in the air. I've not been paying attention to key logic, nor will I ever remember how key logic works in Ice Palace, but no hook shot may or may not be relevant here.
I have on a Scooby how key logic works, so...
Yeah, I have a screenshot saved somewhere of someone in Discord explaining it to me that I refer to sometimes, and then forget immediately after. But it doesn't look like we need hookshot at the moment. Oh, Gammachuu also got all the items already. Thanks for pointing that out, DJ, our tracker. He didn't hit the switch, so he had to go out of his way to get the big key. So, small time loss, but not a big one. I'm pretty sure Audra usually hits the switch early, so the pegs will be in the opposite position.
Yeah, Tracy says it's hook locked.
It is hook locked, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that could be relevant. No, it couldn't. Never mind. I misread the tracker. Nice. Nice dupe of the fire rod shots using sword beams to basically double the damage of each fire rod shot and allow Gammachuu to save more magic for the second phase.
Really cool cold stare fight.
Yeah. That's actually not as difficult as it looks, but it's difficult to remember to do it and like be aware of it and set it up, make sure you have sword beams to like actually have it happen.
I think I fought Cold Stare with a hammer once and regretted every second of it.
Yeah, the hammer is that's a rough one.
And Audra picking up Lag Shield, otherwise known as Mirror Shield. Although, does it really create that much lag?
It's actually the same amount of lag as the level 1 shield. It's just having one or not having it adds to lag. It was kind of a misconception for a long time that the higher level shield added lag, but it turned out to be just a factor of having more hearts when you get the later shield. So like speedrun categories that have the higher level shield have higher lag due to having more hearts on your HUD.
Yeah, Windfox says it doesn't create any lag at all, so...
Yeah, the existence of the shield does have a little bit, which is why you'll see runners like grab the wall in certain places, like during the Aghanim fight when you're waiting. You can like grab the wall to reduce lag. And we won't see it, not due to Specky Clip, but there was a strat for that in Swamp Palace too. Where you grab the lag grab the wall while the water's draining, and it reduces lag because it doesn't draw your shield while the cutscene is happening.
Interesting. Well, Gammachuu is going into Hera, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think he's... Oh, not even getting the small key. That's pretty bold. Well, you know...
He doesn't need it.
He's not doing the basement. Not without the small key. I would think he would have grabbed the small key just in case he needs it for later, but I guess if you're coming back later, you're already sinking a ton of time, and that's totally fine.
Yep. We might see a Dark Death Mountain from Gammachuu here.
Yeah, this is smart. There's so many checks over here. I don't know, but Gammachoo's not like a notorious like known hoverer, but like there's almost no doubt in my mind that he's very competent at hovering and gonna do Hookshot Cave without any difficulty.
Audraxys is going Pyramid Ledge and Catfish, it looks like. Whereas Gammachuu opted to skip it.
Yeah, Audra has...
Windfox says that Gamma can't hover.
Really? That is very surprising.
Is Audraxys capable of hovering?
Yes. Yeah,
Ooh,
Audra can
almost.
hover, not like the best hover in the world or anything, but like they definitely can do it when needed.
Bombos and Paradox?
They're not the kind of person that usually pulls out some of like the sort out hovers and pod, for example, to speed up that check.
Fair enough. Just if it's necessary.
Yeah.
And a nice tempered for Gammachuu and Paradox as well, but nothing crazy. Still, Bombos might be good for TR access. And we're going to see Zelda's Cell from Audraxys, which I don't think we've seen from any of our runners.
Nope, we have not. It's new information. A little bit of a shame that... that's not going to work. I like the second attempt, like in case somehow the first one just didn't work. The Dead Rock was just in the right position where it looked like maybe you could squeak through, but Gammachuu was blocked. I'd do the same thing sometimes.
I hate those things.
Yeah, there are ways to mitigate like how often they block you. Like it is a skill, but there is still a level of randomness to it.
Bombos was under the doorstep of TR. Wow. We're having a lot of...
Of course it is.
We're having a lot of keys under the doormats in this seed.
Welcome to SMZ3 and another Tempered Sword.
Huh.
Almost synced up in time, but not in location.
Yeah, which means Audraxys is going to get the Butter Sword, but that doesn't help too much, right?
Not really. It's like it makes things a lot safer. Like it makes it much less likely that you lose any cycles on Ganon, but it done optimally, you're not going to change anything. It's not going to lose you any time. It does even optimally save a tiny bit of time on like Trinex and Cold Stare, but it's not significant.
That's fair, but Audra will have an easier Cold Stare because Gammachuu didn't have Tempered back then either.
Right, yeah, so exactly what I was going to say. You beat me to it.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I am learning. I am assimilating the knowledge.
Gammachuu smartly remembering that he doesn't have hook shot and going the proper way around the maze there. It feels so bad if you forget and you have to go all the way around the wrong direction and then back up the other way.
What do we need for go? We need
gravity
gravity.
suit, logically, or potentially a couple other items to replace it. Logically, the lamp, but they don't care about that at all.
Who cares about
and
lamp?
The bow and hook shot.
Yeah, still a couple things to put us in go mode, so still got a lot of race left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be amazingly shocked if something was in TR.
Yeah, there's a lot of items in TR, and so not only there's a lot of items, but there's a lot of things that lock those items. So the fact that we already have everything to do it, I guess we don't have the lamp, but we're so close and logically can do the first half of the dungeon. That just means that there's maybe the game give us all these items to, to get the other thing that's required in the item chain.
Yep. Oh, screw attack. That's not super useful anymore.
Not anymore.
So do people bonk off the wall there to reduce lag with catfish coming up?
It's not a lag reduction, but what it does is, so there's an invisible grid in Link to the Past where you can, if you mirror, you actually go a little bit faster on certain pixels. Like the animation doesn't play fully and it saves you time. And there's places where you can like bonk or set up to get those quick warps is what they're called. So by bonking there, it sets you up for a faster mirror animation back to Light World.
Oh wow, interesting.
And you're waiting anyway for catfish, so you might as well do it.
I guess so.
Yeah, some of them require like special movement. Like you'll see like the way certain people enter the way the portals are entered to get to the Dark World, like around Hype Cave and by Village of Outcasts. There's certain ways to enter those to get the quick warps.
Oh,
but those require like a little bit more thought than the bonk one, which is pretty free. Yeah, 32 frames each. That sounds right. I always forget the number of frames, but it's enough that it's like kind of substantial in a speedrun over time.
Fair enough. Very clean Mimic Cave by Gammachuu. Gammachuu would probably really appreciate that screw attack.
Yeah, having not done Lower Norfair yet, that's where it's the biggest use. And he doesn't have plasma, so it's even better for like worst room in the game, especially.
But I kind of doubt he'll go all the way to catfish for screw attack.
Oh, he did get plasma. Duh, he just did. Had it here through Hera. Never mind. Hasn't turned it on yet. Or used it, but he's got it.
Yeah, I don't know about just going to catfish for screw attack, though. Not that he knows it's there, but...
Yeah, it's not worth... Even knowing it's there, I don't think it's worth with plasma. If he didn't have plasma or just had other horrible loadout situation, then it might be worth, but yeah, he doesn't need it. Yeah, and clearly we're out of logic in Turtle Rock now, as seen by the Dark Room.
Yep.
And,
which means Lamp is somewhere. I've definitely seen Lamp in Mimic Cave, though, and that was garbage.
Yeah. That can happen. And Audra must not have hit the switch either. I wasn't paying a lot of attention.
Alright, let's see what's on Laser Bridge.
One more key. Yep.
Magic powder. That's not a great check. I mean, it's a nice safety item for sure, but like...
That's a cool ice rod strat in the Peg Maze room. Alright,
we're gonna see a very cool try next fight, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, slightly weird RNG there, the right head.
But he got it.
Yeah, it's a one cycle, pretty clean.
Lenofis in chat says that we've got Hookless, Swamp, Bolus Eastern, and Meyer left for checks in the Leagues at best.
Yeah, there's still what else do we have? I feel like we have something else. We got a Spring Ball. That's fun.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We do still have some of the Dark Death Mountain, is what I was going to say. And we still have access to Spike Cave, so those are not bad checks.
Yeah.
Gammachuu, I guess if he can't hover, that makes a lot more sense to go into Turtle Rock first. One, you're already right there, but if you're not going to hover, it gives you more chance to find Hookshot before going into Hookshot Cave and having to double back.
Oh, there's Lamp.
There's the logical key under the doormat for Turtle Rock.
Ugh, gross.
There it is again.
Gross. Alright, so you said that Audra needed Spring Ball and what else for Suitless Meridia?
Really, the easy Dragon escape is like Spring Ball and High Jump to get out of the room following Dragon. Audra can also double Spring Ball jump from Dragon's room itself, or get the Flash Suit. Definitely not.
Oh, okay. You were talking about Suitless Meridia like it was logical or something.
No. Just as it's something I don't know. I would expect Gammachuu to be able to do it, but I wouldn't guarantee that he can do like Suitless Dragon, since it's not even in Logic and Hard mode. But Audra can definitely do it if it's necessary.
Oh, we're gonna see Shaft Supers in Spike Cave.
Two kind of out of the way, but not like the worst checks.
I hope. Oh, there's gravity.
Okay. Wow.
Oh no.
So, okay, that's really interesting, and so it's so interesting to me that the power bomb management. I don't know if it was. I don't know if there's a way that Gammachuu could have used his power bombs differently. I think just not being able to do or being comfortable with that super short charge caused him to be one power bomb shy of getting this check on the way up Blue Brinstar. Like, because I was saying earlier, like I would have, even though it probably would have taken me several tries, I'm not the best at that short charge. Like I would have been able to save a power bomb, and Audra would have done the speed ball to save one. So this is potentially the rare case of, even though Gamma's playing like extremely well, just that actual like really precise high-end skill could make a difference. Like this speed ball, but the other way is what we would have seen. It's a lot tighter from left to right, but you can see Audra had tons of room there, even going right to left.
And yeah, as Tracy points out, Gamma doing lower Norfair with this item set is really good for Audra.
Yeah, there's not really a lot he could do that would be... I mean, getting Screw Attack or High Jump really are the only things that would matter, that would speed it up. Like, it's still going to be fairly quick for Gamma, but he's not saving any time, that's for sure, from what Audra did.
Yeah. Wow, I really love that.
Yeah, so... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just like that little shine spark that some runners do diagonally to get out of waterway. I think it's really interesting. Are diagonal shine sparks difficult?
I don't think so. It's interesting. So like shine sparks and a lot of SM strats, it's neat to see sometimes different people kind of struggle with different ones or think that some are easier or harder than others. I personally find them to be exactly the same, but I also learned how to do shine sparks from the air before I learned how to do them from the ground, and just always find them easier mid-air. Sometimes that's not everyone's opinion.
That's fair.
It's just a difference in inputs.
So do you think we see Meridia from Audraxys now?
Oh yeah, I think so. And this is probably good, but if Meridia is empty, like, and it's just the boss that's important there, that Gravity Find may not actually be very helpful for Audra, because Gamma's going to get back to it eventually, I would think. So, like, depending on when that happens, if there's no progression in Meridia, Audra might not feel good about this and might be in a bad situation. Yeah, Gamma, the no high jump boots here really showing that they're making a difference. Kind of struggling with worst room in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the high jump boots, because those jumps were just like slightly off, and it seems like Gammachoo's practiced it with the good item loadout that you'd have for any percent.
Yeah. Do you think Gammachuu practices much low percent? I know that I think Audraxys does some low percent, right?
Yeah, Audra is known for doing a lot of low percents of vanilla, both Link to the Past, SM, and other SM hacks. I think at this point, Gamma's mostly just practiced like randomizer and randomizer strats, since it's definitely different. Like there's a little bit of skill that translates both directions there, like both going from low percent or any percent to rando and vice versa. But
apparently
you got to
Gamma does
pick
a lot
something to
of
practice.
yeah, Gamma does a lot of A Link to the Past spoiler, which is kind of a low percent, but it's choose your own low percent.
Yeah, it's a little different, but it's important for that game. Yeah, Gammachuu a little concerned about his health. I'm sure he's aware of how to hitbox those.
There's high jump.
I'm sure he's aware of how to hitbox those key hunters, but probably just doesn't want to mess it up and take a hit. Without the gravity suit, they do a lot of damage. I should know the numbers. I think it's 100 HP.
High jump being in Meridia is good for Audraxys, bad for Gamma?
Yes. Well, I guess. I mean, we're definitely not gonna see Gammachuu do suitless Dragon without high jump. There's just no way. You know, I would like to see Gammachuu take the health refill. I don't know what his health was like when he came into Lower Norfair, but I don't know how it got this low. He must have had relatively low health entering. It's not that it's not possible. It's just that it's terrible, and I would be shocked if Gammachuu learned how to do or has practiced high jumpless, suitless Meridia.
Apparently,
was it all
Gamma came in with 7 tanks, but
yeah, I didn't see
got
that
wrecked
it was
in worst room of the game. Had a little trouble, which is understandable. It's called worst room in the game for a reason.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like you don't want to stop and kill the enemies because that's kind of slow. But then if you don't, you might end up losing more time and more health, which is future time. Like I would expect that he doesn't normally take that Flower House room there that slow either, but he's farming on the way through so he can have a safer Ridley fight. We'll see how much he farms for the Ridley fight. He's got way more than enough supers. He could kill 2 Ridleys with that number of supers.
For sure. I think he might just be farming health at this
But yeah,
point.
he definitely wants more health. The no high jump boots make it harder to manipulate Ridley's AI, especially if you're not as practiced with it.
Let's check out Sandpit for Audraxys. Let's see. Nothing.
Nope.
I'm feeling Shack Tooly. I'm feeling very Shack Tooly.
I can't imagine that the runners are.
Can't imagine it either. Is Shack Tool a good play right now?
I would say definitely not. For Audra, it's not even in logic yet because they don't have the lamp, which is required for the grapple to put Shack Tool in logic. But either way, even if you were going to do Shack Tool, you do the boss, Batu and E-Tank, you know, Precious Missiles. Yeah, you do all those first. I think is Ridley dead? I'm not sure. That seemed like a very excessive number of supers, but better safe than sorry. See, yeah, another thing, Gammachuu clearly practiced with specifically the SMZ3 Ridley fight, which is 30 supers. I'd say at least 9 out of 10 times in SMZ3 you're gonna do that fight with supers. It is a specific skill set that's not that hard usually. But
Bow on Botwoon.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see what it was, but I saw Audra sparking back to the left to get it.
Yeah, it's both.
I don't think that's
what we
gonna
know
work
now
for the
is
full halfie.
Hook? Is
Oh,
Hook
it
the
is.
last one?
Okay. That first wall jump was a little off, but it was a good clean ledge grab at the top. Yeah, the hook shot is the only thing.
Spazer!
Nice beam downgrade for free. We'll see if Audra actually puts plasma back on, like, ever. They might just leave it to save the menu time. Or maybe menus on an elevator somewhere. I would turn it back on now, just to maybe, I don't know, land a couple shots on Dragon, but...
I think Audra's just like sucking.
Oh yeah, I
it
guess
up at this point.
I guess for Turian, if nothing else, you want that on for stand-up glitch. Because stand-up with plasma is significantly better and like actually worth doing, as opposed to with Spazer, where it's really not worth doing in most cases.
Very clean Dragon kill.
Yeah, nicely done. Gammachuu still in that like kind of nebulous health range where it's like not super dangerous, but it's not healthy enough that he can just like ram his face into all the key hunters. So he's kind of taking it safe. Nice. I don't know if that was a manipulation. Probably not, but nice positions from the second and third ones to not get hit by them.
Baja Blood asks if Super Metroid bosses are weighted against having pendants. I don't think they are.
That's a good question. They're weighted against it, but it's still a possibility. The likelihood of it happening is, if you play a handful of seeds, you're probably going to see like some one pendant SM situations. It's really, really rare for two pendants to be an SM. I don't know if it's even possible or like it's just statistically like ridiculously unlikely to have all three pendants in SM. But yeah, it definitely happens. It's happened in this tournament.
Fair
That's
enough.
the knee tank that Gammachuu wanted like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. We definitely prefer
Tracy,
seeing more Super Metroid than
resident
less.
math expert, putting some numbers in chat for relative or approximate chances of that happening. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, it's not just that. It's just that it kind of, if you have like 2 or 3, you don't, like, you can just not play SM in some ways. Or like SM is just like where you go to grab the items and you don't have to do what are effectively the dungeons of the game, and it kind of, it makes it feel really unbalanced with more than one, especially pendant and SM. Particularly if you get like Dragon and Ridley pendants, you don't even need a suit.
Yeah.
For anything.
I don't know about you, but like, I love seeing SM, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a reason that both the games are together in this, because we like to see both the games. Alright, so with the bow, Audraxys going to pod. That makes sense. They don't have the lamp that puts the back in logic.
But Audraxys can just do dark rooms anyway.
Oh yeah. And if Gammachuu had the bow, I would assume he would have gone to pod as well.
Right. And Audraxys is going to loop in Eastern with this too.
Oh right, we still haven't seen front of Eastern at all from either runner. Or any of Eastern.
So, really nice routing from Audraxys here.
Yeah, just doing that like coverage play and going back for shaft supers was really advantageous.
Gammachuu gonna check out Magic Bat.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot we got this in Turtle Rock, and out of the way enough that it didn't necessarily make sense to come straight here.
Unless it's hookshot.
So that's big key, small key. Is that right? No.
It is not hookshot. That might have been an out for Gammachuu, but... Well! You shall not
A
pass!
little indecision there, yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Audra it looked like they were trying to decide if they wanted to go to the boss or not, and then by the time they decided, they were blocked by the beetles. The funny thing is, if they had just fallen off the ledge, they would have respawned on the door on the right, which is where they were trying to go anyway, instead of having to reset the room, but it worked out in the end. Yeah, big key was first, and then they got the small key on the right side, so kind of surprised they didn't just go straight to the boss, but probably wanted another...
Oh, I think we're getting a pet check
yeah, I guess
from
we want
Gammachuu.
another key.
We are. That is 3 bombs, I think.
Yep. So yeah, Gammachuu, that's kind of an odd check, I think, here. He might be feeling bad about his lower Norfair, like knowing that having to play it safe due to health, like being low health throughout most of it, like was a time sink that he just is not expecting Audra to have to do, especially with the free plasma.
Yeah. We look to be going swamp, I guess, maybe?
This might be pyramid ledge, front of escape from Gammachuu.
I think we're gonna see pyramid ledge and catfish. We might see pod.
I wouldn't think so. Maybe. I would expect catfish first, especially with Gamma having been pretty thorough on overworld checks, avoiding double dipping dungeons so far. Oh, did he already do pyramid ledge? Maybe.
I think he checked it. Maybe. He might be coming back to it after Zelda Cell.
Item on the boss, but not a good item. Does potentially mean that Audra might be able to bail a little bit early before going all the way to the big chest here in Pod, if they know that it's a map or compass. That's kind of the advantage. Or they might just be leaving. Oh, okay, this actually makes sense. As long as they remember to go back to Pod, provided there's nothing in here, because I have made that mistake. The rest of Eastern's more on path than the back of Pod, so like if hookshot's in here, you can just... Basically, you've go-moded Pod, but without knowing you were in go mode yet. Or without being in go mode yet.
I do like this, then. That sounds...
Yeah. But if not, Audra's probably going to want to mirror back and then do the other Pod checks.
Yeah, I don't think we lose time from doing it this way, though.
No, it's like an extra mirror, but that's negligible considering it can potentially save you, like, 8 checks in the back of the dungeon.
I really like this routing choice.
Nice boomerang strats. Good use of pseudo NMG / quick swap strats from Gammachuu.
Gammachuu going to back of escape, but we know the answer's not there.
Yeah,
do you think he's forgotten about Shaft Supers?
I don't think so. It's just... Again, this is just me trying to put myself in his shoes as a runner. Like, I would think that he'd feel really bad not only like having to go back to a Super Metroid check when you know your opponent is like more seasoned Super Metroid runner and has a movement advantage there. Like it's like you're doubling the time loss from doing that check, you know? Not only did you have to go back to it, but you had to go back to it and still probably did it at least frames slower than your opponent. So it kind of hits you twice. If you can just skip it, then you've saved time, because your opponent's probably going to full clear Super Metroid knowing it's their skill set, like their game, and then you've saved time by just not checking it at all.
Interesting.
So like competitively, it's better if it's not there and if it's in some of the awful Link to the Past checks for Gammachuu. But that is just not going to work out for him. Unless he finds the hookshot somewhere awful that takes Audra forever to get to.
Yeah.
That's...
So do you think he'll last location the gravity suit?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably not a hard last location, but I don't think he's going to get there next. I'd expect to see him do, like, maybe Meyer, since it's the green pendant, front of pod, Eastern before that, but, like, do you do Hookless Swamp? Do you go back to Mothula before Shaft Supers? I don't know. I don't think he would do those things, but
It
at this
looks like
point,
he's
it's
going
kind of
into
like
Meyer.
they're all garbage checks, and it's which garbage does he think is better competitively. I like Meyer here a lot, actually. It's fully in logic as far as Gammachuu is concerned. I mean, it is. It is fully in logic. It's the 3 checks since it's the green pendant. There are a couple, like, quick items in here. So, like, the first couple checks are quick. So if you get hook shot, like, right away, you feel good about it. You didn't waste that much time. Even if, like, say the boss has the item or cutscene chest, those are big time losses.
Yeah, it's a green pendant. And he knows Ben is dead, so it's only 3 item checks. Oh, there's
Right.
Shovel. On Armos Knights.
Alright, that's one more fetch quest.
Gotta love it. It's not the nicest shovel I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's excuse me. It's at least, like, you got a crystal with it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go out of your way super far to get the crappy shovel that you don't want to check.
And we're gonna check back a pod as well.
Audra needs a key here and has forgotten that. They're gonna probably laugh a little bit when they get to the key door and bonk it. Or just be confused.
Got X-ray in on Gammachoo's side and Meyer.
Yeah, well, at least it's an item.
Yeah, he'll have an easy Dragon fight now with the microwave.
And there's the other item. So it's not the worst Meyer, even if it ends up being completely nothing. Because Gammachoo's got both items, knows that the big key is not in the cutscene chest, or does he already have the big key? He already has the big key, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
Then he definitely knows it's not in the big key chest, because it's in his pocket. No, he doesn't. It's this last one. Okay, I was right the first time. I didn't think he had it, but then I saw him go towards the boss.
Yeah,
I see. That's actually smart. He was avoiding using the small key to get to that chest a little bit quicker so that he can use the small key here, and then at this point get to the boss quicker from where he was at in the dungeon.
Gamma's really good at routing dungeons out.
Yeah, if you were looking for just an item and you weren't planning on finishing the dungeon, you would have probably used the key on the door to the left of that chest instead, but this is the best way if you're already committing to getting the boss clear. Heads up play from Audra there to dodge that drop from the enemy that looked like actually movement to avoid that. If you pick up that drop mid-air, it messes up your bomb jump. It's the same thing as like the Harapot thing that can trip you up. And you'll have to reset the room and do the bomb jump from the other side.
Pod being a little spicy. And nothing.
No bow for Gammachuu, so he could have used the cane to get a little bit closer and not wait as long for the eyeball to get to him for Vitreous, but I don't actually know if that would have been faster, because then it would have had a longer refill animation after the fight, and it doesn't save that much time. Also adds lag. I've not considered that, but that's he probably knows that that's faster.
It is not trouble. Okay. So now we can try Pyramid Fairy, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess
Audra's
Audra's
probably
still
gonna
got
do
Turtle
it.
Rock, so that's
Yeah.
a really smart thing to do at this point. We still have the top of Hera too, that neither runner has done with an item.
Oh,
I forgot that was
Gammachuu.
available until just now. Yeah, Gammachoo's
Gammachuu
doing Pod
going in.
Eastern, which I think is this is what I expected was Meyer, and then I kind of expected Pod Eastern then Meyer, but either way, these are the densest things that Gammachuu has. Very reasonable to go here. And he can turn in the green pennant on the way, so that's why he opted to do Meyer first, I think.
And it's nothing. Not great for Gammachuu.
No.
We just don't know where Hookshot is. It could be in Hera. In which case, I think both of our runners are going to last location it.
Could be in Swamp.
That would be the fourth. That would be the fourth key under the doormat.
Yeah. Could still be back at Skull Woods.
Which is
Shack Tool. Better for Audra, I think. It could be Shack Tool or Plasma. Those were the Meridia checks we didn't see. There aren't any good checks left. It's somewhere bad.
Yeah.
We can leave it at that at this point.
Well, Swamp's sort of on path.
It's on path if you have the hook shot.
Yeah. It's a big gamble just to go to Swamp and hope hook shots in there.
Yeah, I think Gammachuu might be doing that though.
Oh?
I missed how much of the Pod Eastern area he cleared. Oh wait, it's bow locked. Gammachuu is following the logic. He's not going to check bow locked pod when, like, 1 out of 3 items he needs for go mode is the bow.
And Audraxys is going to receive their complimentary gift packet of bombos. Get a little smile from them.
It's funny because there's a few different ways to do the Death Mountain routing that have their advantages and disadvantages, and Audra opened the door to TR first, and then mirrored to do the Light World checks here, whereas Gammachuu checked these first and then did the Dark World stuff, so, like, Audra's gonna have to do an extra warps to get into the dungeon, basically. Or, like, climb up there another time that Gammachuu didn't have to do. Super minor, but makes a slight difference.
And yeah, Gammachoo's betting it all on Swamp. Can't do a Specky clip, sadly.
Okay, I actually don't like the way that Audra's routing this Death Mountain, because they went to Dark World, and then did they go down Super Bunny in the Light World, and then back to the Dark World at the bottom of the mountain, and then they're going to mirror to open Turtle Rock in the Dark World again? It's a lot of back and forths. I think more than necessary. Oh, Gammachuu doesn't have hook shot. He can't do Specky Clip. I forgot that's a thing.
He's gonna have to do left side Swamp and pray to God the hook shot's there.
It can happen.
How many checks are there? Well, we have
two left side Swamp.
We've gotten 2 items out of Swamp, so how many does that leave?
I should know that. I don't actually know. 3 items.
That's still a fair amount of items.
Yeah, but Audra instinctively hitting the pegs, thinking they had to open the portal for a second. Enough that there's still a chance that a pretty good chance that, like, one of these on the left side is like a map or big key or compass or something like that, but it's gonna likely be at least 1 item. 6 total. Thank you again, It's Gone Wild. I should know that, but I know how many are not dungeon items, and I just operate on that assumption in some dungeons and use the inverse to track.
Be sure to give our runners a follow. They're putting on a great show for you guys.
Absolutely, love it. What a great play from both.
DJ Web spitting some fire at you. You don't play enough keys to know pure dungeon chest numbers.
I don't know if that's shade or just a statement of fact, but
that
is true. I mean, I know where the chests are, and I know in keys modes you mostly just check all of them anyway, so it's not as relevant, I guess, how many like items there are.
So, we're almost out of checks in Left Side Swamp.
Yeah, this is the last one over here, and we'll see if it's the hook shot. Nope, it's a map. So we didn't have a map, compass, or big key yet, so it was getting pretty likely that we got a dungeon item there instead of a
if
real
I'm Gammachuu,
potential
I
useful
probably
item.
feel pretty terrible about that.
Yeah, I think so too. It's again, his options are not good anywhere. I think that was a reasonable play. I think that was a better play than Skull or Hera, for sure, from where he was at in the race.
I think it's Skull now.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to stick to the game that he's more proficient in.
Well, I don't know. It's hard at this point. When you get this low on checks, like, I think it gets really hard to meta, and it's even harder to meta like somebody else's play, you know, like what Gammachuu is thinking specifically, because you know that they're all really bad, and there's a pretty reasonable chance that either your opponent's right on top of you because they also were doing this last, or they did it early and spiked something, and you're in trouble because you picked the wrong pendant to go to first, and it was this pendant instead.
Ooh. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's just sort of a bad situation.
Yeah,
all around.
And it's bad to go back to SM where it's the one check that he can do that is super out of the way, but it's bad to go to these halfway cleared pendants and double dip them. I think honestly, Hera's like competitively better, maybe, because it's so horrible that you know Audra's not going to do like hookshotless Hera having to go to the basement early when there's crystals and overworld checks that are okay.
Yeah, I think it's Hera now.
But I mean, Skullwoods is a pretty fast like next up check where like the item's not that far to get to, compared to Hera where like the item is going to be behind the small key, behind the big key, climb up the dungeon.
Oh, whoa. Did you see him pick up a red block and speed?
Yeah. So that's so you can do spin speed, where you use speed. You use a sword spin, and as you release the spin, you tap the dash button, and it gives you like a run speed. It's primed on the stairs. You can actually take advantage of that a little earlier, like before you're supposed to be able to in the game supposed to be able to. you can take advantage of that earlier by picking up like a block or a bomb or something like that while you're on the stairs, so that gives you the super speed earlier instead of coming off the staircase while you're on the staircase.
Oh wow.
Takes a lot of foresight and like using quick swap effectively to get that to be worth doing, but nicely done. That was a very poor explanation, so apologies to the Link to the Past runners that know what I'm talking about already and could explain it a lot better for sure.
I just thought it was really cool to see because I hadn't seen it before.
The block basically didn't give him the super speed, but it just let him activate it on the stairs instead of after, where a lot of players do that.
Yeah, what DJ Web said. Just do the thing and go zoom. Have a nice little coffee break.
Right, there's that big key.
I really hope... Like, I hope Hera is the hookshot for Gammachoo's sake, but I really hope that it's not, because... just for my own sanity.
Yeah, if... Gammachoo's kind of running out of room here. Like, he's... If this is the hook shot, then that's still okay, because then it kind of boils down to where Audra goes when they start hitting the bad pendant checks. If this isn't hook shot, then Gammachuu just straight up has to double back on things, and
it's wave.
That means the hook shot is somewhere else. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because Gammachoo's gonna have to go to Meridia. There's almost no way around it. He might choose to do things differently in Meridia. He might opt to go like to Shack Tool early, or to Plasma right away after the boss, like something like that, to try to say, okay, well, I'm super late to this, but I have to follow the progression, but I'm gonna follow it in a way where I still might win out, because maybe Audra skipped the slow checks when they did this clearly 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's an out for Gamma anymore.
I think Plasma and Shack Tool are still okay, but is that all that's left even? Like,
Pyramid Fairy, Shack Tool, and Plasma.
Pyramid Fairy. That's not good for Gammachuu.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, I think if it's Shack Tool or Plasma and Gammachuu routes Meridia really aggressively, okay, Gammachuu just... You have Screw Attack, Moonfall with your Screw Attack, and use that. Kind of getting hecked up by the
chat.
Ice Beam. Gammachuu also could have opted to use missiles instead of beam shots to kill the pirates on the way down.
Ugh, that head shake from Gammachuu, that's true pain.
Yeah. Just I think someone in chat mentioned he used an extra power bomb in the Decora room instead of speed to break the blocks. Like, that really subtle power bomb management, like even being on 15, like using one in the wrong place made it so he didn't have enough to check that on the way up, and didn't want to like save scum it and go back for it, which is understandable. That's a slow save scum, but sometimes these tiny details make a difference. Is he going to Mother Brain? I think so. Okay, I like this, actually. He doesn't have high jump, but like, I don't know if Gammachuu knows Baby Skip anyway. High jump doesn't really do much else other than real minor room movement throughout Turian.
And this will be some nice lag reduction on the escape as well.
Yeah, I think the lag reduction's worth it to not have to like try to get high jump and come back later.
Audra's gonna do Pyramid Fairy, which might be our answer.
At this point, it's like a 50-50.
It really is. Hyper Beam for Meridia, as Oz points out.
He could keep the Hyper Beam.
Yeah, it would be fun.
I don't know that he would do that.
Pyramid Fairy it was.
Alright, so that's go mode for Audra. Let's see, they're going to go to Swamp Palace, probably trying to decide for just a second there if it's worth it to flute or to get the quick speed to run back. We just haven't mentally switched gears yet.
Kind of bizarre to see Gammachuu and Mother Brain, though.
Yeah, like it seems really early. Like it's rare that this works out this efficiently, but when you get your go mode kind of right next to Turian and you have everything except for high jump that you could possibly want, even Wave Beam showing up right before the gravity suit speeds up Mother Brain a little bit. And I still don't know if I've ever seen a high jump plus baby skip in a race.
Is it possible?
It's definitely possible. I've seen it done like in video footage from several people, some really high-end SM runners, but Gammachuu damaging down a little bit, not even trying, obviously, because it's incredibly difficult.
I mean, that's fair. And we're gonna see a go mode swamp from Audraxys, which is really good for them.
Yeah, not having to do the left side hookless in particular. At the very least, Gammachuu had the boots for it, so it's not like the most horrible thing ever, but it's still pretty bad because you have to get the one chest, then fall down and climb back up to fall down on the other side. Audra's not doing Specky. That's interesting. I don't know if this was a mental mistake or just for some reason isn't confident that things will go right with Specky Clip. I know that happens sometimes if you're like relatively new to a strat. Even if it's something that's easy, you may not know like what the points of failure are and what can go wrong. So sometimes it's easier just to avoid doing it, do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, it might be muscle memory at this point just to not do it if it's a fairly new strat.
Gammachuu struggling a little bit with the down back Zeb skip. There are some runners that find this to be easier, but a lot of runners think it's... There's a lot of people that think it's more difficult than the other style of Zeb skip. Gets it there nicely. I'm curious if Gammachuu just doesn't want to eat the time of turning off screw attack on the menu, or maybe that's just the one that he knows.
Oh, there are bombs. Audra picking up bombs. Very nice.
Okay. Could be helpful if Audra gets grabbed by a Metroid in Turian. That chest would have been worth if it was Silvers or high jump too. Or wait, no, Audra has high jump. What am I talking about? Silvers though would have still been helpful there too. So there is a reason to open those chests. That's kind of the big one.
Yeah. Silvers can either be in Ganon's Tower, Plasma, or Shack. And if it's Plasma or Shack or runners, are never getting Silvers.
Oh yeah. So Gammachuu is setting up for stand-up. Menus to go to up to 70 tanks so that he has enough to be able to stand up after the first rainbow beam, damage back down to less than 1 E-tank, and then as control, as long as he's in the air at a couple key points in this cutscene, he'll be able to do a bunch of extra damage while the baby is refilling his health. I wasn't actually sure if Gammachuu was going to do stand-up. That's one of those things that, since it doesn't change the logic of the seeds at all, a lot of players will put off learning and will focus on like room movement and like things that can help you skip items or, you know, beat a little lower percent. This just is just a straight-up time save, but nice to see Gammachuu spreading his time and learning the logic, learning the strats and tricks, and also just learning things that just save time. All right, and we're going to see Ganon last on Audra's side, too.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean, they have everything but wave, so I think kind of the same situation. There's such a small amount of things that could make this faster.
I mean, that's fair. Just go for it.
Yeah, and if your last boss was like when you're already on Death Mountain going to Turtle Rock, for instance, like maybe it's not worth. It certainly wouldn't be worth going to Super Metroid first before Ganon, but in this case, you have to save and quit or mirror and flute anyway. So actually, that's a really nice stand-up from Gammachuu. How many shots was that? 3? That was 3 shots from the Hyper Beam.
Yeah, very nice. Gammachuu has really just blown it out of the park with just pure execution this
Oh,
season.
yeah. You can tell that the things, like, everything that Gammachoo's learned, he's like learning the right way and doing them really efficiently, which sometimes isn't the case from newer SM or SMZ3 players. Like I'll be honest with even for me, like there's some strats that I just kind of make it work and it's fine. Like the early Spore Spawn Supers, for instance, is one that like Gammachuu did way faster than I can do because I just never bothered to learn it the right way, and he has.
Oh, lost shine.
Yeah, you can actually charge it again, especially with Gravity Suit. It's just lava; it doesn't hurt you. So there's no reason not to go back and do it again. That might not be something that's come up for Gamma before, and just
I don't think speed and lava mix. I've heard that before.
Oh wait, yeah, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Charge in lava.
I think he was trying, not realizing.
Audra not getting stand up, getting baby skip looked good up until the very end there. Maybe got thrown off without wave beam. Without wave beam, might have just had a little issues with the getting all these all the seaweed out of the way.
Is that what it is, seaweed?
It looks like to me. I don't know what it is. Like
Fair
in canon, I'm not really sure. Right, okay, I was getting my wires crossed. It's normally acid, so you normally can get a shine spark through that, but not if you beat Mother Brain first.
I wonder why it's different. Okay, so what's Gammachuu up to here?
This is... I don't know.
Is this Backdoor Meridia?
Oh, yes, good point. Yeah, he's gonna be going to Backdoor Meridia and try to get like the bow or hook shot near the boss so that he doesn't lose time probably on not having gravity earlier. Because if it's like the front of Meridian, he has to full clear the whole thing. Like, he's probably assuming that Audra was way ahead to that.
That's smart, though.
But if it's just on the boss or nearby, or if it's like Plasma Shack Tool, like, I would probably, in Gamma's situation here, like, if I thought of it, I think it'd be reasonable to do, like, Dragon into Plasma into Shack Tool, like, first, and then do the front of Meridia after if you don't find anything.
Setting up for stand-up on Audraxys' side.
Looks like they turned off Varia to have a little bit, what most would consider a safer stand-up. The Rainbow Beam will take away more of your health, so you don't have to damage down as much after it, so you have a little bit more time to take those hits before it's like too late, and you get another Rainbow Beam that just kills you.
Fair enough.
I guess with the reserves, it probably wouldn't be fatal, but...
Does Gammachuu not have Hyper Beam?
So the Hyper Beam resets when you leave the game. So if he had traveled like through the Super Metroid map to Meridia, he would have had Hyper Beam still, but it like turns back off and just gives you, I think gives you Plasma and Wave if you don't already have them, something funny like that.
Well, he's just gonna microwave Dragon instead.
Yep. That's a nice microwave. Advantage of the X-ray that was in Mire, yeah.
Microwave shrimp. That sounds so unappetizing. But fried shrimp sounds a lot better.
Oh wait, did Audra not? do
What?
stand up, or I missed
Audra
what
did stand
happened.
up.
I missed why they had so many hyper beam shots. I guess they don't have waves. That's a significant damage reduction.
Yeah.
Maybe more so than I was thinking it would be. I was watching Gammachuu a little bit more closely there.
Let's go, Blue Bomber! Aw, man. Not a Blue Bomber. There's Bo for Gammachuu. You think Gammachuu just dips out here?
It looks like he's not. I would have kind of expected him to, honestly, but the fact that he went down instead of turning back to the right to take the portal out to like the
Audra's
whatever
hitting
area.
the block as well.
Oh
but...
my god. That door is gray. That's so unfortunate. Yeah. So Audra doing what I think Tracy pointed out in chat, that you can reset the room, but has to kill the pirates because the room state's not changed yet. That's kind of funny. Still probably faster. I don't know. Maybe not, but
I don't know. And that's 1G in chat to both our runners.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just heading to Ganon's Tower now on Audraxys' side, right?
Yep. Audra has Ganon's Tower, and then Ganon himself. Gammachuu still scouring the world for that hook shot, which is behind Pod and Pyramid Fairy, so that's pretty far away at this point, especially since he's kind of committed to the Meridia full clear, it looks like.
Yeah. So go ahead and get your guesses in chat for GT Big Key location. It's 1 to 22. Do you have a guess, Ace?
I'll say 7. It's a nice number. It's relatively early.
I'll go 13.
In honor of the upcoming Friday the 13th.
Oh, Hitaka's mad. You stole Hitaka's guess.
Oh, dang. Sorry, Hitaka. I didn't know. We can split the winnings of nothing, if it's right.
The winnings of bragging rights, I guess. Alright, let's see. Gonna check out Hope Room first. Alright, first 2 checks down. Check number 3 is Torch. It's not Torch. Here's number 4. Not 4. It's 5! Congratulations to Thorgy in chat. I hope I'm saying that right. You now have the unlimited prize of bragging rights. Woohoo!
And Audra checking the last couple there after the big key, just looking for potential silvers. That definitely saves a little time, but not a big deal at all with gold sword, half magic.
Really all the safeties you could want, they have.
Yeah, I think this is blue male. I always forget on this sprite, but I'm pretty sure it's purple then yellow, or sorry, yellow then purple to go from blue to red in this particular sprite Audra uses.
I think so. So blue male's not the most safety, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean in GT at least, all the dangerous things are, or like not the enemies as much as like the traps, all the spikes and things. Spikes, BMO statues, things that don't get damage reduction from the male, and then on Ganon itself, it's like the fire bats for phase I think 2 and 3 maybe are 2 damage no matter what. I always forget the ones that hit me because I'm bad do a set amount of damage no matter what male you have.
Very nice land mode 2 kill on Audraxys' side. Where's Gammachuu going? Oh, probably back to... yeah.
This is probably... It's got to be Pod Eastern at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't see the Plasma Shack checks, which... That's kind of like the Hail Mary play to try and pull something back where you think, like, I only win this if the seed is horrible and it's Shack Tool and my opponent refuses to do it. He's still kind of playing more... This seems like less of a meta play and more just like, I want to finish the seed as fast as possible, and this is probably the way to do it. But can't be feeling good.
Yeah, maybe he's hoping that Audraxys has had just as bad of a time as he did with Gravity Suit.
Audra not checking these for silvers at the top. Probably checks the pre and post Moldorm checks. These are like kind of, you're walking past them in the room anyway.
For silvers?
Yes.
That makes sense. There's Moldorm.
And they're wooden arrows, so
yeah,
close, but not actually helpful.
Now, this Agaphite is randomized, is seeded, so it'll be different for both our runners?
Yeah, it's not seeded in this, although it is in like standalone Link to the Past randomizers. The Ganon warps, the Aghanim patterns are not seeded, so we could see very different behaviors from both. It doesn't make a huge difference, but can sometimes make it much more challenging to get a 2, or maybe even impossible to get a 2 round from one runner and not for the other.
And we're off to fight Ganon. Thanks for the fun fact, Ganon. He's always a gem of wisdom. Itaka in chat points out that Audra's all yellow. Yellow sword, yellow mail, yellow shield. The golden mail set. Truly a champion of the Triforce.
Yet somehow, one of the only items on the tracker is one of those golden medallions that's missing.
Oh yeah. That must have been on
One of the only
Shack
things
Tool
I
or
didn't
Plasma.
find. It could be in GT as well, since Quake wasn't relevant for anything.
Oh, right.
Could be part of the junk fill there too.
And Cape. Apparently Silver Arrows was Light World.
So what is Light World? What did we miss?
What is Light World that we haven't done? We did see Graveyard Ledge from Gammachuu.
Did Gammachuu get silvers then?
I don't know.
And isn't using them?
Well, let's get our GGs in chat for Audraxys. Finishing
GGs?
with a time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 9 seconds.
It's like Gammachuu stops here on in pod. Not gonna try to dig out a hook shot. GG's to Gammachuu as well.
And we're joined by Audraxys. Welcome and congratulations.
Yeah, GG's Audra.
What a seed. You know, most of the keys were right under the doormat, weren't they? And hello, Gammachuu. Welcome.
Hey, GG's Audraxys.
Like Audra might be having some mic issues.
Perhaps.
Looks muted on our end anyways.
For sure.
Oh, I was muted in the... I literally had mute clicked. Hello.
Hi! Congratulations!
Thank you. How do I sound?
You sound great.
Okay.
Good on our end.
All
Yeah,
right.
GG's
So
to both of you. Good, great race.
Last time, just let me know. But yeah, that seed felt very average, and I haven't really had very many average seeds in this tournament, so... but I was pretty happy. I was mostly happy with how I played. I kind of didn't play very well after go mode, because like once I hit go mode, I was just kind of like calculating what are all the ways that you know, he could have found it in a better way than me. Like maybe doing it before Turtle Rock. I was trying to like calculate how much time I lost in Turtle Rock, checking extra stuff. I don't think it was that much, but then it's like you have to go around the long way without hookshot, and I don't know. So my brain is just like occupied with all that useless crap instead of like actually playing the game. But I felt like I played this matchup correctly, and I'm kind of prone to choking finals matches, and I'm glad I didn't like stoop something, forget something, because that kind of happens to me often.
Well, yeah, it came down to just a few checks at the very end for hookshot. I think it was Shack Plasma and Pyramid Fairy. 50-50 chance, and it was on Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I mean, like, it sounds like collectively there wasn't much left, because it sounds like Gamma did a lot of different things that I avoided. Like, I assume he did Front of Skullwoods, and
yes.
Yeah,
like
pretty much
Mire.
everything. Looking for the gravity suit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was planning on doing Mire defensively if it came to it, like before some other options, because like it's just interesting. I don't usually get like really heavy Zelda 3 mains and like really high profile matches, but like when I do, it's like a bit of an advantage for me, not just like being better at Super Metroid, not quite just that, but also just like knowing strictly what my advantages and disadvantages are going to the seed, like what is good for me and what's bad for me, because sometimes it's hard to tell, but in a matchup like this, it's very easy for me to know what helps me and what doesn't. And so Like if I'm ahead, and he's gonna probably want to press like A Link to the Past because that's his better game. If I need to play defensively, I should go to Meyer earlier than I would normally.
Yeah,
fair.
that's pretty much what I did after I was out of good options in the Super Metroid side. After I did Lower North, I put that off for so long. I hate going there without Screw Attack or Plasma Beam or Gravity
Or high jump.
or High Jump. Yeah. I told myself, okay, Metroid is dead to me. I have to focus on whatever, the hookshot bow and Gravity and Link to the Past, and I did everything before I'm able to go back. Like, yeah, it's just one of those skips I left in Super Metroid, and that was the first one I went to. Like, yeah, this is not good. I should have just gone there with Mother Brain or something earlier. I don't know. I felt good though because I did fake flipper that speed booster, and I was really telling myself, please, have something in Waterway. That's the best spot for me. And yeah. So once I, made my way, finished Blueprint and all that, I'm only had 2 PBs on me. I'm like, oh, I can't check this. I would like to. I want to push that speed booster, but I only had 2 PBs. I was gonna soft lock myself. Like, well, this is a dead check for me, and just never went back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was afraid that you had that speed booster earlier.
And
like
Gammachuu did, but
like fake flippering there, I feel is just. Well, first off, I died to the stupid crab, and I was like, I was really happy with how I routed in Ice Route Cave back in later using the Hera Whirlpool and then water walking to Zora. And like I've seen Gammachuu play other matches where like there's that one match I want to say, I forget what tourney it was in. It might have been HMG, but it was like one match where you. Or was it SMZ3? But like you went to Waterfall Cave and you got scammed out of hookshot because you got the heart piece refilled.
Oh, yeah, that was HMG. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and you like did a really good job of making sure that you went back to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I should probably do the same thing. Like, I don't want to lose this match on dying, getting crabbed at Ice Road Cave. Like, I don't want to pull an Andy here.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, no, that's playing it smart. I felt like I played okay. I pushed the speed booster checks too. I did like everything, like the landing site, gauntlet, like all that to start playing Metroid. I felt okay for the most part. Felt like a nice combination of Zelda and Metroid. But yeah, it just at the end there, I was just in panic mode, and I kind of figured that I'm gonna do Swamp Palace as my Hail Mary play. If it's not there, it's probably over. But overall, I'm happy with how I played. Even making it as far as I did, I'm happy to have made it this far and got a chance to race against you, Audraxys. I'm actually looking forward to watching this back and see how we did. I know I still have a lot to improve in SM, but I've just kind of been having fun with this.
You've really done a fantastic job, Gammachuu. I was so impressed by all your movement.
Yeah, thank you. And again, a big GG's to you, Audraxys, winning this tournament.
Yeah, thank you. GG's. I was like thinking a little bit about like, did I give you the keys to beating me with my last commentary? Because I said some stuff about like what routes I like to take too, but yeah, no, I was really happy with how I played this.
Did you?
That fake flipper, like fake flipper to hobo that early, I feel is uncommon in SMZ3 just because like Pearl is kind of not that common to be early, and so I feel it was probably a good play for you because it was just, I think, very likely that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I remember also seeing Ace Zero do a fake flipper in one of his runs, and there was I think Boots sitting right there. I think it was Ikir, and I didn't want to. I'm like, oh, just do it, just get it out of the way, because I was at half a heart coming out of Ice Rock Cave. Like, if I don't do it now, I'm just gonna probably mark that off as a dead check. But no, I was happy. Like I put on a face when I grabbed that item. Like, oh my gosh, this is a speed booster. I'm gonna be going to speed booster. Brand star. I'm not gonna orphan any items.
Yeah, you just
but-
get to move faster too. Like that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the speed booster. Like early on, you guys did kind of the same checks. Obviously, you both did like Brinstar and like went to wreck ship and all that, and it kind of converged. It obviously did things a little bit different order, but like the speed booster was enough that Gammachuu, you were just like a little bit ahead because of that. Like your movement was good, and the speed booster was enough that even if like I don't know, I'm it's hard to say, but like Audra's movement was probably like slightly cleaner as far as like ledge grabs and stuff like that. But like the speed did help keep you just enough ahead, even with having like waterway check that was not outstanding for you that Audra obviously had to leave behind.
Right.
But yeah, it did help. You did the right thing there. Just the really powerbomb management, and I pointed out the like I assume you haven't learned the speedball in Blue Bryn to save the power bomb there on the left. That's a really tight one that like I didn't expect you to do, but like that would have saved you that one power bomb that would have been enough. Like something small like that.
I've seen runners do that. I'm like, oh, this is on my list, but I'm not bothered practicing it at all. That would have been nice though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm still happy with this. One thing that maybe Audraxys did Thief Stone without the hammer. Because I got the ice rod, I started thinking about that. Maybe that's an out. I don't know. But I assume you had the hammer.
The hammer like being right there. I wasn't thinking about. I wouldn't assume that people would have left that hammer behind, to be honest.
Yeah, like I feel most people will just cover Olive Village before making the plan to Thieves Town. I sometimes avoid hold off on that check, just so I could dash down and just make my way out of Village. Like just kind of tell myself, what are the odds that one check is hammer?
It can be so bad if it's the one thing though. Like I kind of get it. I used to do this also with like the 230 missile location. I used to try and check that like at the end of the Blue Bryn loop because like it's a little bit faster. You're going less out of your way. But I had a couple times where it was speed booster, and I was like, okay, I don't want to do the whole Bryn loop without it if it's right there.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Oh, also, I guess I finally technically won a tournament without quick swap that uses quick swap. That's been a meme for like years now.
GG's.
GG's.
That's actually one of the things that pushed me over to go ahead and give this a try. This and the Sprite, those two coming in at the same time. Like I gotta go give this a shot now.
The Sprite or like the Yoshi Sprite?
No, the Pichu one, the Little Hylian. That wasn't there before.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't play with any other sprites. It's only this one, so I'm like, yeah, I definitely want this now.
Alright, well, yeah, a good luck in the future. It'd be interesting to see what you do with this game.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, GG's again to you. I will be looking forward to watching more matchups, as well as upcoming SGL in person.
Oh, are you going? I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going as well.
So maybe we'll come across each other again over there. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say thank you to Acer and D-Web and Fox for being on crew, and Fox in particular. Glad that you got into doing commentary and stuff. It's been cool to have you.
Oh, thank you. I've been really enjoying it. So, thank you for the run. I mean, it was a fantastic race. So, just really happy to be here and experiencing it all. Ace?
Yeah, echo that, and I'd like to say the thing that the Duck always says is that like it doesn't matter how close the finish is. Sometimes like it's how long the race is close for, and like pretty much
It's the checks he made.
pretty
along
much
the way.
right until the hook shot was Pyramid Fairy. Like basically once it got down to those last 4 checks, like if hook shot had been somewhere else, it was still a close race potentially. You know, if it was in Meyer or Hera, like it was still a race until it was like, okay, well, it's Pyramid Fairy, Shacker Plasma, and that's no longer a close race. But the fact that it was up in the air for that long, you know, because you both played so well, made it a good race. It was fun.
Yeah, there's plenty of like losses that I've had that feel like crushing and by like kind of an embarrassing amount, but like looking back at the race, it was just like all it really took was like for the last item I was looking for to be somewhere different, and it had opportunities to be fine. So
You both have
Okay.
a lot to be proud of for this race and this tournament on the whole.
yeah, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, since no one's talking. Yeah, so I'm gonna first talk to our runners real quick. Gammachuu, huge congratulations. I mean, I know we've all said it before, but I'm just so impressed with how far you've come in SM, and I really hope you continue. And super excited to find out that you will also be at SGLIVE. And you know, it's kind of an interesting contract. Audra, you won the very first SMZ3 tournament way back in 2018. 5 years later, here we are again.
Yeah, it took a while. I lost. How many finals did I lose on the way there? Zolski, Aussie again, and then I got 5th twice. But yeah.
and Gamma, you definitely pushed that. Like, you know, as Audra said, a different hookshot location, a different bow location. We could be talking very differently right now. So it was a really fun race.
Yeah, I was, kind of thinking for a while, man, I could come out winning this, after all, first SMZ3 tournament, but I didn't have my hopes up too much, but again, like I said, I'm very happy to have even made it this far in my first SMZ3 tournament, just barely starting since May, so, a couple months, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. But,
yeah, and you've got some other things, like, you had the spoiler win. I believe you're still in the HMG tournament?
Yes.
And of course, you play on your mom's favorite rando team.
Yes, thank you. Yes, you had to hear the full team in there.
Yeah, I had to shout that out. So definitely look forward to watching you in those, and of course at SG Live in person. Audra, no league this year, but a lot of really good SM finishes have come your way, and
I got kicked out of league, so.
Yeah, there is that. But yeah.
Still blaming Brosia and no spoiler week. That's basically what I'm blaming.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. If there's anything else either of you want to add before I go into the details for the in-person, we're going to be doing some different things this year. So.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks, everyone.
Same here. Thanks all. Appreciate it.
All right. So the important stuff. Not that this wasn't important. So in person, we're trying something very different, and it's either going to work out really, really well or going to be absolutely horrible. We'll find out when the time comes. But in order to allow everybody who wants to participate in person to come and participate in person, instead of doing an online qualifier, we're going to do an in-person qualifier on Thursday night that'll take us down to 8 players. The benefit of that, of course, is we don't have to schedule everybody. If we'll work with anybody that for whatever reason can't make that. But right now, tentatively scheduled for 8 o'clock on the Thursday, and then to make sure everybody gets a chance to play beyond that, there will be an alternate bracket. So just a few of the details. I will be posting the document in the Discord shortly after we're done here. There is a link to the challenge page. You do need to sign up on challenge. The soft deadline for that, and I call it a soft deadline because it's say however many people qual, But the soft deadline is Monday, October 23rd. What that means is people who registered by that time are going to get to vote on settings. We have decided that we are going to do fast Ganon no matter what. But we're going to do a poll between hard and normal. We are also going to decide whether we go 774, 753, and 553. Everyone knows what 774 means, but the difference between 753 and 553 is minimal but significant in that with 553, Ganon's Tower could be relevant. With 753, we're pretty certain the Ganon's Tower is just dead in that case. So that is the choices you have. So those two different choices. The alternate bracket will be normal mode regardless of whether the main bracket is hard mode or not. And the alternate bracket, if you are a weaker player that doesn't feel like they're going to make it into the top 8 and would like to just participate in the alternate bracket, you may. Audra, Gamma, you don't have that option anymore. So, but, there are players that may just feel like, I don't really want to do the qual, I'm just going to look straight to the alternate bracket. That is an option. But for the rest of you, you got to play and get kicked into the alternate bracket. Yeah, I think. Let's see if there's anything else important there. Bracket stage.
Zero rest to get into the alternate bracket. Let me tell you.
Nice. That's a good one. But yeah, we'll probably get 2 players on Restream. Probably 2 players that we feel like are going to finish around that 7, 8, 9 mark. So, we'll have that happen, and then I believe those are the pertinent things. Like I said, I'll put the rule sheet in the Discord and let you all look at it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. I think that's it. I guess we'll turn it back over to Ace and Fox to close us out, unless any of you have questions that are here. All right, Ace, take it over.
All right, thanks, Tracy. Thanks for all the info. Excited for the in-person. Sad to see the online portion done. It's always fun for these tournaments, both playing, watching, commentary. Shout outs to everybody that helped make this tournament awesome. Especially the runners, the ones that made it this far. Second, first place, Gammachuu and Audraxys. It's been a lot of fun. Fox, you want to take us out?
Yep. I had a great time, everybody. I hope you all did too. GG's one last time to our runners, and see you next mission.